The resolution of the first amendment moved by. Thank you. By recognition coming from the list coming from the Department of Health. Just say I move for the rescission of my first motion. Okay. Of my amendment, yes. I rise to move the motion as the decision move as amended. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to rescind the decision, the resolution of the first motion. I move. Okay, Mr. Speaker, sorry, sir. I rise and I move to the issue to recite the resolution of the first amendment moved by. Thank you.
Chairman, Mark Eset is my name from Akwa Ibom State. Okay, points of order, Mr. Chairman. Can I recognize Mr. Chairman? Thank you very much. I am from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Chairman, I don't know if I'm the only person, but I doubt. What the IGP is reading is quite different from the document we have here. No, sir, we are all here for budget. It's very, very important that whatever they are presenting, all members will be acquainted with it. You can't give me a copy after this. It's not the same thing. The details are not here, like the zonal offices he has mentioned. They are not captured here.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Please, Senator, please. Make it easy. It is our decision within the leadership of this committee to allow IG to summarize his presentation.
No, Chairman, we're not in a hurry. We are not in a hurry. We must do the right thing.
We are not in the chamber. You are there to wait for the collective. You have it.
It's not in this copy. What is written is
a new copy was sent to you. Check and see it. If you just have a copy, ask for the copy. This is not a big deal. You ask for the copy. The copy is there available.
Chairman, I'm still on the floor. Mr. Chairman.
We need the opinion of all the members. Can we allow IG to proceed with what is reading?
No, we don't have it. We don't have it. Then I will leave. I will leave the copy. What are we reading now? What do you want to do? We are acting in the head.
Mr. Chairman, point of order, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Deputy Chief Whip. Deputy Chief Whip. Deputy Chief Whip. Deputy Chief Whip. Mr. Chairman.
Point of order, please. Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues. We are here to serve Nigerians. And Nigerians should see us as a very serious institution. We are not against the presentation of the IGP, but I, as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, should have what the IGP is reading. Yes. Exactly. Please let me finish. I represent a section of this country. What the IGP is reading is different from what I have. And I'm going to ask questions. Let me finish.
Before you finish, I'm the chair, please.
Honest, I can stand here today and I can give a few points that are contrary, a few points that explain perhaps what we're going through and how it was totally predictable, most of it, and maybe avoidable. But I'm not going to do that. I've chosen not to speak about the economy and the reforms or to even explain anything because if I explain it would help this government, and I don't want to help the government. I don't want to help this government. You know, they're my friends. If they don't behave like friends, I don't behave like a friend. So I watch them being stewed And they don't even have people with credibility who can come and explain what they're doing. But I'm not going to help. I started out helping, but I'm not going to help. I'm not going to discuss it. Let them come and explain to Nigerians why the policies that are being pursued are being pursued. And meanwhile, I'm watching a very nice movie with popcorn in my hands. I'm watching them stew. But I will say one thing. What we are going through today is at least in part, not totally, at least in part, a necessary consequence of decades of irresponsible economic management.
Was largely distorted. If you wanted to manufacture something and you set up a factory, you need to do a lot of hard work and pray to God and face a lot of risk, and there's no guarantee you even break even. But if you are very close to someone in government, maybe CBN, you don't need to put money down. They just need to allocate $1 million to you. You don't need to pay. We allocate to you on credit. You pay by the following day or evening. Take $1 million at $460. Sell it at $750. Easily, you have made close to 300 million naira without lifting a finger. The guy that is building factory is still trying to finalize documentation for C of O for the land. You've cleaned out with 300 million. So why should you stress yourself? You then direct all your energy towards building those connections so you can make the easy money. But for every 1 naira that is made like that, it is the blood of the Nigeria economy that is being extracted. It is the seed that we should have been planted that was being eaten. We were suffocating the real sector. Many of the companies that exited, it was the closing chapter for them. It was a build-up of so many things. Anyway, I think enough said. That is what was. Now, what is? How about now? I'll be dishonest if I stand here and I say to you that it's all fine now. Of course, you won't even believe that because you're smart people. So we're not there yet. But you know what? They say it is always darkest before dawn. I personally believe, and this is based on data, that the worst is behind us, and it can only get better going forward.
And this interior, don't feel like you are making a mistake. And I've actually had this is exhausting our people. My God, this is exhausting.
Don't
I think I'm going to leave this place because people are exhausting. And I've had this conversation with CM. And he pretended as if he doesn't know the context you were talking from. This is scary. This is just scary. Our people,
because
people are so dishonest.
You see videos,
you know what?
Sorry, forefather.
You should come and take over. You are too dishonest.
No, let me see.
I'm tired of you people. It's unbelievable. Show can come and take over. Show you can come and take over, please.
Forefather.
People are just full of dishonesty.
Please.
They will never tell you the truth. I don't know whether is it.
What are you accusing me? You've seen
whether it's deliberate or not.
Calm down, please.
Something is wrong. Something is broken in our people.
Oh, Father.
Something is broken.
Calm down.
We've had long conversation. That's made this.
They asked a question.
A topic
I gave you instances.
A long one.
I gave you instances.
What
is
listen.
This is not a joke. It's not a turn-by-turn thing here. I wouldn't be here. After this election, stop coddling Showore and having him running his mouth. He cannot win a single local government. So
you are the one running your mouth. Stop, be respectful to Showore. Cast a young, be sorry to Showore. Are you mad? Are you alright?
Mute that guy. Mute him. It's my turn.
Are you mad?
Mute that. Mute that boy right now.
Amari, hold on.
Mute that son of a bitch.
No. No. Pansa, no, you don't say. No, this is not good. You see, this what I think I've said, why do you people want me to be making commentary, editorial commentary on this? This is your chance to speak, but you guys are making me to make editorial commentary. Why do we think that, hold on, Pansa, hold on. I'll call you when I'm done. Hold on, everybody, hold on. Why do all of us think that we are that important? Anybody, whoever you are. Why is this? Do you think this election will? I've seen the world. I don't know where you live. I don't know how you study history. I've seen the world. Nothing. This is not the end. This is not the end. We can't allow people to come here and talk this way. It's not good. You can make your point and quietly, and people will get your point. You understand? Nobody. No, not yet. I'm not finished. Maybe I'll start treating this as like a classroom. I teach a class. Nobody can speak like this in my class. It's not possible. But I just know that I want to engage. I want people to have conversation. I want to make it free. I don't want to start banning people, stopping people from talking. I don't like that.
I hope that Nigeria wins. I'm never going to wish any president evil so that I can say I told you so. No. I won't wish them evil. I hope. You see, I'm not praying. There's no point. I can't pray for Nigeria to be fine. I only hope that Nigeria wins and Nigerians win. Because if you choose a dodgy doctor who has a dodgy record, who has, all sort of accusations leveled against him, to say this doctor, we think he's done this, or this doctor, this surgeon, yes, he's a senior surgeon, he's the most whatever surgeon, but there are a lot of accusations leveled against him. If you choose him to operate on you, and you tell me to pray for you that it doesn't kill you surgery, what's the point? I can't pray. You might make it, you might not make it. My prayer won't change anything. So I hope Nigeria and Nigerians win during Tinubu's 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you, sure.
And I am ready to die defending Nigeria in whatever way. When it is God's time for us to go, it is
and you
not
took my
going
time
to
to talk. You are ready to defend Nigeria. I gave you my time.
No, I'm coming.
Alexi, hold on. You already started.
What I'm saying, defending Nigerians is this.
I gave him my time and he's using it to defend me.
No, sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't forget, that state is now an oil producing state. So they now have derivation, if you are not aware. So if you want to speak for anybody, please do not defend a character like a Yabelo. Please do not.
Okay, let me respond to him. One second.
Do not defend a character like Yabelo. Do not.
All right, thank you, Mohammed.
The people of that state.
Can I respond to him?
No.
Then go to hell. Rudolph, go to hell.
All right.
Rudolph, I've never seen this part of him before. My God.
Tinubu is a criminal, yes, of course, a categorical grade 1 criminal. The only person more criminal than Tinubu in Nigeria is probably Babangida. But he's a criminal, and is he fit for purpose? Absolutely not. Should Tinubu be the president of Nigeria? Categorical no. Is there a better option than him? That is subjective. So show me who he is.
All right. Good morning from New York. My name is Rudolph Okonkwo. This is Have Your Say 247. It's a show where you have an opportunity to have your say on some of the issues in the news across Nigeria, Africa, and the world. It's a beautiful day here in New York City. We welcome all of you to the show. Thank you for joining us. And like every other Saturday, we have interesting topics for you to tackle. Now we want to have that conversation around starting with Nigeria, where you have tax reform. It appears as if the governors of the states in Nigeria have approved the the tax reform that President Bola Tinubu is pushing for. There are a few changes in what they approved. So we see how that plays out when it gets back to the National Assembly. Meanwhile, the former central bank governor Sanusi, who is now the Emir of Kano, let me say one of the emirs of Kano, basically came out to say that the people running the country, they are his friends, but they are not acting like friends, and he's not going to help them. What does that mean? You know, people speak in codes. We want to know what is going on. Somewhere in Lagos, we have Femi Otedola, who is now essentially the owner of the First Bank of Nigeria, taking issues with people who are owing the bank, including Nduka Obaigbena, who most people know as the owner of this day. Nduka is owing about the company, his company, Hydrocarbons General Limited, I think, is owing over 200 million to the First Bank. So we are going to touch on that, especially when the former chairman of the First Bank ran away from the country this week. So we're going to talk about that. And of course, in Lagos, we have everything is all set, I think some people believe, for the son of the president, Seyi Tinubu, to take over Lagos State. Exciting days. So we will touch on that and see what people think, especially with the impeachment of the Speaker of the House of State House of Assembly in Lagos State. So this and so many other things are things we want to touch on today. So thank you for joining us and welcome. All right. Who do we have? Ovie. Ovie, you're dressed up. What happened? Are you receiving an award?
Am I receiving an award? Which category there? Anyway, any award going on? Are you giving an award? Is that sure you could give an award? Huh?
No, we do it this year. We are going to have our own Hall of Fame and Hall of Shame and things like that. So
I am preparing for Trump Award. You know.
Oh yeah, the inauguration.
Trump
Yeah,
Award.
you mentioned that.
Yeah,
That's happening next week. Are you going to DC?
In spirit.
You're not a serious reporter. I thought you were in full time, to cover what's going on in America.
It's going to be too cold this week. Even the inauguration has been moved indoors.
Yeah, but people will be there. Why not you?
Yeah, that's people, not yes, not me. Not people. Let them be there.
Anyway,
I will follow it. I'll try and follow it live, and it's going to be. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to his speech. I'm looking forward to his executive orders, and I'm looking forward to his first.
There are reports that on Tuesday they will start deporting people from Chicago. New York Times and Wall Street Journal is reporting that there is an executive order that he will sign on the first day that will mean that people will be deported from Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, in my lifetime, the only president I see that he did what he promised. So it's just trying to fulfill this promise. It's nothing. I don't think we should be surprised. That's why I said I'm looking forward to the executive orders. There should be about 100 of them, but I think the first day will be like 50. 50 will be given to us immediately after the inauguration. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to his first union speech during Congress. Because as we said, we are in a Cold War and we are in another brand new world entirely. So let's see what that's going to be with the Greenland, with the Canada, with the Panama. I mean, Nigeria going to brace. Are we going to revisit? Because he said it before that any country that trying to go with breeze and trying to undermine the dollar, we get 100% tariff. So all that thing. So I'm really looking forward to see how actually things are going to find out. So that's what I'm preparing for. So that's why you see me. I got to be ready. so that they
All
don't
right.
go deport me. Like, I don't go deport me. I just say they deport people now. You know, I know be
Vin,
American, so let me.
I'll come back to you. Vin, welcome to the
All
show.
right.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Damagis, and good evening from here, my little beautiful city of Bolgatanga in Upper East Region, Ghana. I am so much glad to be with you. It's not easy though, but everything is fine.
I
As we
haven't
do
I
our
haven't
own.
seen you Vin since the election in Ghana and
Yeah,
the new president.
I told you to beam. I told you to beam your satellite on Ghana, but you refused. I don't know where you were.
I wasn't around. So how are things going? The optimism, is it still there? People are hopeful.
Yeah, we are very, very hopeful. You know, the man has been there before. Because of pride and some of his, comment he made that time while we were still crying, instead of him to tell us, oh, please, I am going to put things forward in order to make your life better. But he refused. Instead, he was showing us some kind of arrogance, and Ghanaians voted him out. One of the most horrible defeat in the history of Ghana in democracy. Now, he left, and he came back and apologized to Ghanaians. Then the man we thought that is going to do a lot better came in and began to trash us. In fact, even the air we breathe here, we paid tax on it. So, and we thought that this man is going to do things good. He refused to do anything. And upon that again, he's not even showing any sign of remorse. No presidential remorse at all. Then he and his party suffered the biggest loss in the history of Ghana, where over 1.7 million voters voted against him, irrespective of the free HSS, so many things that they were, touting on. The Ghanaians said, no, we threw him away. And this man has come in, and there are quite a lot of things that has gone on wrong in that former administration. So this John Dramani Mahama has come in, set up what we call oral operation, recover all loots, and appointed civil society organizations, big time lawyers, and so on and so forth to investigate and find out. And there are a serious improvement. He has cut down government, expenditure, number of ministers, and so on and so forth. This man is on fire, but we pray that those that he is going to surround himself with will, spur him into the height that we expect him to be.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me say hello to KJ. KJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Damages. It's good to see you. Yes, the game begins. Just like Ove has said, welcome, Mr. Awabang and all now politics. It's been a long while because politics continues, doesn't have an end. And the latest one is the one we're looking forward to. You have advertised a lot of good topics we're going to talk about, and so many more, in the body politics of Nigeria. It never. It's like when we were growing up, there used to be one cartoon we watched called the Night of the Knights. The King Arthur. King Arthur always have something he's always up to every time. And then when the comedy is about to end, he will tell you there's always something happening in Camelot. So it's his royal decree that you always join us. So it's my royal decree that everybody always join us in Dr. Damage's show because there's something new every time that we meet. And don't forget to click the button. And we've also moved to Iroko TV. So we may not be on Facebook. On the YouTube. So if you check YouTube, you don't see us, come over to Facebook to Iroko TV and Iroko Root TV, and you see us. And we're there. We're soon going to be running 24 hours with people like all politics and all the rest of them participating in one way or another. Thank you, sir. Yes, I will say I am also looking forward to the inauguration of Donald J. Trump, and watching how the new world order will come into play. So it's going to be, a bumpy time for all of us in the next one month or so. So my advice to everybody is just keep your eyes on this channel. Dr. Damages will bring to you almost everything that's going to be happening blow to blow. And well, Dr. Damage, just to tell you, I'm happy that CNN at last will be paying some dollars, some millions of naira for, for defamation. So also is ABC television, who also be paying Donald Trump a lot of money for damages, defamation. So these things will teach some of them a lesson, and as we go in, they'll be a bit more careful in reporting things that are not right. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, KJ. I saw Tony. Tony, welcome to the show. All right.
Thank you. Greetings to everybody at the platform. Good to be here. Yeah, very interesting things happening over here. On Monday, we'll be witnessing the inauguration of Donald Trump. His second time here, second tenure. Expectations are high, especially for those who think that he will bring some changes in America. And then pity for those who are yet to regularize their stay here. Probably deportation will be awaiting them. And for those who think that the coming of Trump will be good news for Africa, well, for me, I don't have that optimism. I don't think that Africa factors high in his calculation, except that we have a remote brother in South.
Tony,
Tinker with whatever policies that. Am I breaking?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, you are breaking. We can hear you
Hello?
very well.
Okay. Did you hear me?
So
I'm sorry.
You can reconnect. Tony, connect. Just reconnect again. Maybe it will be better. Okay. All right. So before we go on, let me point out we are going to just look at what stories in the news that probably I did not mention. I heard this morning that King Wasiu in the K1, the ultimate. For those who know, the musician lost his mom. Why we know that is because the president called him from wherever he is, Abu Dhabi, I believe. And we have a video of that call.
Olaba sister Ọlọ́run ni o, ẹ ṣé o. Wọ́n á máa ṣe mítì wọn náà. Àmísà. Àmì àkànbí ìwọ náà pẹ́ fún mi. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ọlọ́run ní bí ajẹ́ o.
Àmì ìgbà tí wọ́n wà bẹ́ẹ̀ báwo ni a ṣe máa jẹ mí? Bàbá mi ìwọ president, bàbá mi president, ìyá máa jẹ mí ní Nàìjíríà ilé ìkọ́. Ìṣe Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n mú dání. No, ìyá mi jọmọ kú ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀ọ́ níjọba aṣíwájú náà. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Safe trip back home, sir.
All right. Also in the news is, of course, most of you have heard about one Timileyin Ajayi who killed a girlfriend in Abuja. So we are going to add that to some of the things to talk about. So let me go around and see if anybody has anything that is important. I did not mention. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
Yeah, you didn't mention the budget presentation by the police department in Nigeria that was reading from a different script, while the one that was served to the commissioners and those that were vetting or inquiring, were having different scripts. So that also really struck my mind as well when I when I heard about it. Thank you.
All right. So I played the video at the beginning. I think you are talking about this incident. Let's listen a little bit of what.
Mr. Chairman, Mark Eset is my name from Akwa Ibom State. Okay, points of order, Mr. Chairman. Am I recognized, Mr. Chairman? Thank you very much. From Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Chairman, I don't know if I'm the only person, but I doubt. What the IGP is reading is quite a document we have it. No, sir, we are all here for budget. It's very, very important that whatever they are presenting will be acquainted with it. You can't give me a copy after this. It's not the same thing. The details are not here, like the zonal offices he has mentioned. They are not captured here.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Please, Senator, please. Take it easy. It is our decision within the leadership of this committee to allow IG to summarize his presentation.
No, Chairman, we're not in a hurry. We are not in a hurry. We must do the right thing.
We are not in the chamber. You are there to wait for the collective. You have it.
It's not in this copy.
What is written is
a new copy was sent to you. Check and see it. If you just have a copy, ask for the copy. This is not a big deal. You ask for the copy. The copy is there available.
Chairman, I'm still on the floor. Mr. Chairman.
We need the opinion of all the members. Can we allow IG to proceed with what he's reading?
No, we don't have a copy. Then I will leave. I will leave the copy. What are we reading now? What do you want to do? We are acting in the head.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, point of order, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Deputy Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, Mr. Chairman.
Point of order, please. Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues. We are here to serve Nigerians. And Nigerians should see us as a very serious institution. We are not against the presentation of the IGP. But I, as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, should have what the IGP is reading. Yes. Exactly. Please let me finish. I represent the section of this country. What the IGP is reading is different from what I have. And I'm going to ask questions. Let me finish.
Before you finish, I'm the chair, please.
This is embarrassing. But it's not the only thing, embarrassing about our country. Another thing in the news that somebody just reminded me is that Reno Mockery, they are looking for him in Nigeria by the inspector. Is it the EFCC or inspector? I don't know, the police, whoever. The police they have an order to arrest him because of something to do with the Pastor Paul Enenche. And the people, there's something going on. So anybody who knows details of that incident, I haven't paid attention to that. But Reno is in the news for that, something about defamation allegation. All right. So, Tone, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I can hear you.
Okay, good. So, any story in the news that you were interested in that you want us to consider talking about?
Yeah, well, yes, both in Nigeria and over here where I am, like I said, we are waiting for Donald Trump's swearing in, and all the hype about what he's going to do and so on, how he's going to make America great. There's a second chance for him, but we're waiting to see, and then how his rule is going to impact Africa and particularly Nigeria, the same place he called the shithole. So we're going to see if Africa will factor in any way in the government's this thing is acting. Whatever policies that is going to do, is it going to favor Nigeria? We're going to see. Oh Lord.
Where are you? Tony, where are you?
Yeah, I am in the. Unfortunately,
Yeah, where are you?
I'm in New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey, not too far from you.
I thought you were in the southern part of America. So
You see, they have bad network there, and
no, it's not the network. It's actually I don't
what you
know.
have to say about that. New Jersey of all places.
I think it's me.
Jersey?
This is not coming from. This is not coming from. It's my problem. It's me really.
I just want to find out what is new about Jersey. Nothing.
What is new about New Jersey? New Jersey.
Don't answer that question. I was thinking you are from Alabama, so I would have had that would be a place that we expect something like this. Not New Jersey. Trump has a big facility there, a big estate there. So
yes,
you are disappointing Trump. So this is
yes, he does. But I think over here we are somewhat been nice to him. Not like your New York, so he can vote here. I mean, it's not like New York where going by the judgment he can vote. So he can vote here. He can come and enjoy in New Jersey here. But that's about Trump.
All right.
Looking at Nigeria, we're hoping that in 2025 we will see the government. Let me switch off because I think I'm having an echo and I don't think you're getting me clearly. Let me just go.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Sim, welcome to the show.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Rudolph. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah.
So, Sim, we just mentioned stories that we are considering as part of the topics we want to talk about. If you have any story that you're watching that we did not mention that is important to you, maybe you can talk about it before we go on to start our conversation.
I think it's like I've forgotten, to be honest. It's true now. Sometimes this head, what it carries and what it thinks. Sometimes I used to have 2, 3 I could watch, but it's like
that's okay. We have enough. We just don't want to miss anything major, So let's go to Man of Prestige from California. I know that. How is the fire doing? Man of Prestige, welcome to the show. Go ahead, Man of Prestige.
California fire.
Greeting everybody. The fire is subsiding just a little bit, but from what I gather, it's not close to me. It's almost about 140 miles, if not more than that, from where I am. But I have people that live over there, so it's subsiding right now. But a lot of damage has been done. It's probably the worst fire, in California history that I can recollect. So it was a lot of damages. Over 12,000 people has lost their home. I mean, the property damage, I can't even account for it. So it's human life, and people have died. It's just kind of speculation right now. They don't really have a particular account. One of them says 10, one of them says 18 or something like that, So that's probably the most important thing. But what is so bad about it is, but because before this fire, most of the insurance has cut people's insurance already, before the fire started. But right now, they have decided to renew their, renew their contract for the insurance, which is a good news. So I don't know if that has to do with the government negotiation with them. So most of the people, that lose their home, they're going to get insurance. So that's what I have to say in that. But anyway, greeting everybody. I think I had your, we are all tabling what we are missing, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you have not talking about what I consider to be the most important thing, in my own opinion, in the hospitality business. With this guy, the landmark guy, what he has done, what he's going to do in Anambra State. He already signed a contract for 35 years, for Nike, for the Nike Resort. And the landmark
Enugu, that's Enugu State.
That's Enugu, I'm sorry. Yeah, the landmark that, the land that he has there is more than what they have in Lagos. It's about 10 times according to what he said. He did an interview with Asia TV, yesterday. Yeah, I believe yesterday, I'm even surprised, the guy, he doesn't seem like, the money that he lost bothered him a lot, but, he's a businessman. And Dr. Damage, if you've really been to Lagos, you know what's going on, because those waterway, that was, because if you don't have the water, you're not going to have the beach, if you don't have the front. What is the purpose of having the business there? Look at the business that was established. I don't know if you have been, if you have been there, going to Ikoyi Aziz and everything. It has a lot of building, a lot of building that he built, a lot of other restaurants, business, some other. It's a very long way. Those buildings are still standing, but right now it's useless. So to make the story short, the guy said he has not been compensated, not even a penny. Forget about what all these New Lagos people are saying. That guy has not been compensated, not even a penny, for what he did. But with God's grace, things are going to be better for him, because I think the Rivers State government, he's in contact with Rivers State government. They have already contracted with him to come and develop part of Rivers State, and something like that. I don't know about the Ebonyi State, but the one of Rivers State and the Enugu State is quite certain right now. So it's a good development for the Eastern Nigeria. And people like me that believe in, the hospitality business. So, I might extend my this in Enugu. It's not that I'm going to, because the hospitality business, where it has the window, it's not as it used to be. At least 50% profit, has been degenerated since we have this making baby governor. We have, making babies all over the place. That's all purpose of the mind. No, look at the little kids that he has. A man of 66 years old marrying a 35 years old woman. I don't have any issue with that, but he's still making a baby. How can you be 66? You have a 10 years or 7 years old kids, you're supposed to be a grandpa at this age. The man is an absolute nonsense to that part of, Eastern Nigeria, but we're all together. So hopefully, this guy, will help this, the Eastern part of, Nigeria.
All right, thank you. Just to point out that the landmark guy who had issue will be with the federal government, not with the Lagos people. It's not Lagos state government, so it's federal government. All right, Kenneth, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Damages. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. I don't know the topic,
No, we don't have any topic. We're going to start with Trump now that we have Kenneth and man of praise.
Okay.
So we are going to start with Trump coming in and the expectations. So I wanted to be balanced. Okay. I don't want man of praise to just give us the liberal angle of the story. So
you see last time.
Hold on, Kenneth. We have not started on that. Right now, we are just looking at if there's any topic we are missing, just even if it's just to mention it before we start the conversation. So I'll let you, if you have anyone you're watching, like Man of Presi just pointed out that the landmark guy is in Enugu, trying to negotiate to take over the Nike Resort. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't know if you have the California incident on your list.
What incident?
The fact that Donald Trump advised the governor then to get some water from Mexico, and he refused. It happens that California, as rich as they are, and as economically buoyant that some of us here made us to understand, they don't have hydrants. The water is empty, and this is what befell the people. So I don't know if you have that on the list, because California is in a sorry state right now. It happens that California has no governor, they have no leadership, they have no mayors. They are all packed of criminals that needs to be, the people need to really think. And I thank God during this last election that about, I think 13 counties rejected, 13 more counties, rejected Democrats and voted for Republicans, which is Donald Trump. So it is time for the other counties to begin to, question some things. I don't know the county that Mazi Prince and my brother, Man of Prestige, is, but you guys need to educate your people. It's time they embrace Republican Party, which is where the light is. So I don't know if you have that on your list, because these people need help right now.
Thank you. We're going to, that will be the first topic.
As a matter of fact, I'm in a shithole country right now. Do you understand? You see heat everywhere.
You're in Nigeria?
Yeah, I'm in Nigeria. I will make videos. Don't worry.
Okay, we should talk to you actually. We need to know
you need to worry about your own life. Forget about California, okay?
No, we are generator now. It's generator that we are using right now. Generator. Okay.
Sorry. Can I, while you are there, I would like you to collect, if you can, collect as much video as possible of the activities that happen.
Hold on. Let me turn this up. Yeah. You said you would like me to do what?
Collect as much videos as possible of the activities, traditional activities that happen during the Christmas time around Alibo. I'm trying to do a show on that. I want as many videos as possible of all the traditional happenings, whether they be, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, whether they be for River State, for Enugu State, for Anambra State, whichever of the states that if those traditional outfits, they are just extremely beautiful, and I want to see if we can put it together and package it and sell to the world, so that Igbo land will be a destination point next year.
Okay, Dr. Damages, please, maybe remind me, because it's noisy. I'm in a shithole. Everywhere is noisy. I'm trying to hear. But,
All right, I'll remind you. That's okay. I'll remind you.
Thank you.
Flagship, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Rudolph, and good morning to the panelists and everybody watching. I hope everybody's doing well.
We are good.
Good. Well, I've heard all the topics. It's interesting. And can they please, the topic I'm going to mention now, I want you to pay close observation since you're in Nigeria. I've been trying to reach you. I didn't know you traveled. The story that I heard this week was about the Nigerian airport. I think he's the airport manager, or supposedly the guy that is in charge of the airport in Abuja, was literally begging an unruly passenger. Story that I heard this flight. Did you guys hear about that? Was begging him to get back from the plane when he should not be outside of the airport. That was a big security breach. And following that, a lot of people also mentioned that they have seen many times that passengers who come in, most especially from, there was one guy on Voice of the People TV that mentioned that he flew on a plane and had some guys from Kenya. When they landed, nobody asked them any questions. They were pretty much escorted from the moment they got out of the plane to outside of the airport. They didn't go through immigration. They didn't go through customs. And this guy that came out that the video leaked was a passenger that boarded Air France from somewhere in one of these Francophone countries that stopped in Abuja and was supposed to pick up passengers on its way to France. But nobody knows how the guy got out of the airport, came outside, was screaming, was shouting, and the airport manager was seen literally begging him. I think his name is Michael, was begging him, oh, please come. Oh, I don't know what to do. We don't know how to handle this. What do we do now? How do we handle this? This is a guy that breached security and is inside the airport, rather was outside the airport, who's not supposed to be in Nigeria. So there are people coming out to say, it's nothing new, that there are many times people come in, Chinese citizens and people from other parts of Africa, and they just walk out of the plane, straight through out of the airport with no questions asked. and in some cases, many of them are escorted. So can they please, on your way back, if you would, pay close attention and make any observation with reference to how secure our ports are coming into Nigeria.
I witnessed one today, right? As Nigerian citizens, you have a queue, like a queue where you queue up as Nigerian citizens to go through the immigration, right? I was surprised that some people, I think they are maybe Chinese, but you know, they look alike, Chinese, Japanese, I don't know which, but they look like Chinese people. They just came, bypass everybody, just walk straight. That even one of the immigration officers began to record them back, that they should come back and join the other queue. They don't want to join the line. They don't want to go through the immigration check. I don't know why. And the second experience that I had today was that the airport has no AC. They brought out some boxes that they called AC and put by the corners. Some of the boxes were working, some weren't working. Like the airport was so hot, you can't even stay there. And I began to question the Lagos Murtala Mohammed. Do you understand? And another thing was they now show us the QR code, asked us to scan the QR code. I was like, and people were scanning. So I was like, what for? They say it's a health for health check. Then you scan it, then you now have to fill out the forms. And I told them, hey, I don't have internet. So do you have internet at the airport for me to, you know, connect to your internet? They say, no, they don't have internet. Do I have a phone? I say, yes, I have a phone. Do you have internet in your phone? I said, no. He said, okay, you don't have internet on your phone, and you are asking us if we have internet in the airport. I was like, are you crazy? I'm coming from another country, so my SIM card isn't working here. For me to have access to the internet, I have to have Nigerian SIM card. Right? I can't even call my friends and families to come and pick me up because I am in Nigerian airport. If I was in other South Africa or other African country, I would be able to connect to their internet and make calls. So why is it that you have a useless government and this man opened his gutters and say, oh, you too, you are useless? I was like, no, I said useless government. I didn't say you are useless. I say your government is useless. And if you are part of that government, you yourself, you are very useless. You common internet you don't have in your airport, and you call that an international airport? Isn't that disgraceful? Okay, you want me to scan that QR code. What if he said, oh, okay, you can take a picture of it. When you get home, you can now fill it up. I say, I take a picture of QR code. Then when I get home, I use another phone to scan the picture. You guys are crazy. Okay, I will take the picture and I will not fill it out when I get home. How about that?
All right.
How about that? So if I have cholera, if I have airborne disease now, I will just come, stand here, scan the stuff, and pass, and that is it.
All right. We'll come back to you, Ken. You can give us a lot of feed on what you experience.
Don't worry, I will make a lot of videos. Don't worry.
Before you move on, please, it will take 60 seconds. It's a big concern, knowing that the ongoing virus right now, every country is concerned about it. In Nigeria, we have people that are just walking through straight from the plane into the country in Abuja, the seat of power. It raises a big concern. And lastly, were you charged $500 as a Nigerian in diaspora coming back to Nigeria?
Was I charged $500 from who?
There is a proposition that's been put out now. I forgot the guy's name, to the government, and I think it's being considered that every Nigerian in diaspora coming back to Nigeria has to pay $500 before they are allowed into Nigeria.
Even if it's 1 cent, I'm not going to pay. But the thing is, the guy is crazy. I know you have a crazy government, so I will not be surprised if they come up with such things. This is where the showdown is going to come, because you can't rob me because I'm in diaspora. You see, oh God, oh Lord, help me.
All right, thank you. Let's get to we'll come back to you. Bibi, welcome to the show. Unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, hi. Hi, everyone. This is my second time here. So, yeah.
I saw you last week.
Yes. Yes, quick one. Dr. Damages, I think I have a proposition, and I'll say this: when we come on this kind of platform, is there a way that when people make outlandish claims, is there a way that we can have like a fact check right there on the screen? Because it's important. We are on this platform to learn. You are giving information. And when you are giving wrong information to people, that is very dangerous because the world is actually battling disinformation and misinformation right now. So it's very important for the sake of everyone on this platform for us to, when you make a claim, you have to show us fact, because fact over feelings, it's important. We can't just take what you say, because other people take what you say and run with it and they just regurgitate the same. So it's very dangerous, I'll say. So, but why I actually came on right now, because I started listening, why I actually came on right now is because I had kind of mentioned that about California fire. I think I would say that when people make that kind of claim, when other people are going through pain and there's natural disaster, you can't just say, oh, they have to come to Republican and they have to, just making that silly statement. I feel that is so wrong. You can't say that. Excuse me, let me talk, please. Let me talk.
Do you know what fire hydrant is?
Oh, wait.
No.
Don't interrupt me. That's disrespectful. Please don't.
All right.
So I'll say that people are going through pain and all this natural disaster is going on, and you are talking about Trump said this, when most of the things Trump said are they're factually wrong. They're wrong. It's just paying politics with people's lives and livelihood. So I will say this: there's factcheck.org. You can go there and see what is happening. So when you come on here and give people wrong, you can go to factcheck.org. You can fact check everything that is happening in time. So when you say there's no water in the hydrant, California has never gone through this disaster, this kind of wildfire disaster before at this magnitude. So when you are pumping, it's like when you are doing something at the same time, at the higher pressure, you want it to come out the same time. I don't know how exactly to explain for people to understand, but I will employ like we should read, do your research. Don't regurgitate what other people are saying. They're trying to get water out from the hydrant, but the water in the hydrant, they are stored in a tank. So when you are they're trying to get the water out at the same time at the higher pressure, it's going to be slow. So when you I just want to say that you can fact Dr. Damages. You don't need to like crackle or do whatever silly things that you have to do. But I'll say that let us just go on factcheck.org and see what is happening. Every claim is there. Every claim that every person make, if it's a Democratic Party, Republican Party, it's right there for you to see. When it comes to natural, you can go to FEMA and see what is going on and check. Don't regurgitate anything about Republican. They should come to Republican and come to Democrat. I just feel like that is wrong. And I say, please, Dr. Damages, I feel like for the purpose of learning, please let us fact check people in real life. It is very, very important for this conversation.
All right, thank you, Bibi. We are thinking about that. We don't have the resources, and we also have the same problem that the TV networks have in America, dealing with some politicians when they talk. But what we hope will help, and it happens here naturally, which is that when people speak, and we have confidence that people on the platform who are panelists, I'm getting feed. Man of Presi, can you mute yourself? It's coming from you. People on the platform will be able to correct anything that is wrong. We are putting together people that. No, hold on. Can I hold on? No, not yet. So we hope that we will get to that, and that it will help us to make. We agree with you that it's important that whatever we put out here is factual. But again, there's a way to slow down the conversation that we are not going to move forward. But we're thinking of a way around it. Thank you. So let me go to Omoroye, and then we begin the conversation because we have not started. I think we are going to start with Trump, what it will mean, what will happen, how America is going to change next week. But let me hear, Omore, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor, for having my greetings to other panelists and our viewers across the globe. Before I continue, I want to crave our indulgence to subscribe and like the show so that our voices can go further. I want to use the opportunity to advise the likes of Kene. When they come on platforms to tell us about Donald Trump, sometimes we wonder if it's the same Donald Trump we had for 4 years, the miserable Donald Trump we had for 4 years they're talking about, or this is a different Donald Trump. You know, I'm taken aback. Campaigns are over. People are passing through pains. People are losing their property. People are losing their lives. You know, somebody is coming here telling us on how people should join a Democrat or Republican. I mean, we should get serious sometimes when we come on national platform like this to talk to people. You know, you're talking about if we have other things we have to discuss. Please, I will crave your indulgence, Dr. Damages, to also take your flashlight on my beloved state, Edo State, where there is a total breakdown of law and order. When the likes of AY come here to say they didn't like the governor that was there, they just wanted a change, I want to ask them, also join me to ask them if the change they needed was a positive one or a negative one. You know, they don't care the change they talked about, they just wanted a change. There's a total breakdown of law and order. There's confusion, there's anarchy in my beloved state of Edo. Thank you very much and God bless you.
All right, thank you so much, Maria. You know, I was part of a show before this one, and we talked about Edo State. Somehow I thought that we've been talking about Edo State all day, but thank you. We will hopefully get into that. Let's start quickly so that we can touch on some of these topics. So let's start with Trump. On Monday, there will be a new sheriff in town. In the news we had today, all the newspapers are reporting that there will be mass deportation that will start on Tuesday, and they are announcing that it will start in Chicago. I wonder what the purpose of telling people so that they will move to Alabama or what. Anyway, but it's starting on Tuesday in Chicago. So let's see. What are your expectations of a second term Trump's back into the White House? What are your expectations? What are you looking forward to? Let me start with you, man of Prestige. You're in California. You guys didn't vote for Trump, I understand. Well,
sorry, let me ask you, are we having time? Are you going to time also at?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. Thank you very much for mentioning that. Let's give everyone 3 minutes. So 3 minutes. Man of Prestige. You're muted. Or you can't even hear me. All right, let's start with KJ. Oh, okay.
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hold on. Let me cut off this. Okay. We are eagerly awaiting Trump assumption of office next week, I think on Monday. Like you properly stated, it will begin by his promise, the deportation of mass deportation, which start on Tuesday, according to what I had. So I don't know how it's going to be carrying out, you know, whether it's going to be, you know, rounding all these illegal people and something like that, deporting them forever country they come from. But they can, you have an issue when it comes to Trump, but you, my brother, that notwithstanding. So I hope Trump coming administration better for your life, okay? And your life will be better. All those olive oil you was buying for $50. Hopefully now you will buy it for $5, okay? And your life, and the KJ, yeah, I know you're a Trumpy too. So I hope all your life is better. Things have changed, but in my own opinion, nothing is going to change. That's what I said. You know, gas is still going to be the same. Gas has increased in recent days, so nothing is going to change. That's how you know that to a certain extent, the president doesn't control the economy. I mean, some of his, some of the things that he may do may affect him, you know, to a minimum level. But having said that, I don't think that much going to change economic-wise. It's going to be the same trajectory we are heading. I mean, you know, in terms of stock market and some of the economy, is going to, you know, it's still going to be the same. Now there's a ceasefire or whatever between Israel and the Hamas, so I don't think that's going to help. Hopefully, it's going to help. We just want a better night, you know, a better US. That's what we want. I know it's going to be mass deportation. He promised that, and that's going to happen. And it's going to be a lot of people that, you know, particularly in the federal area, that's going to lose their job. I know he's going to go after them. You know what Trump is. Trump bear grudge. You know, I mean, this is the reason why I hate him. You know, like I said, as a Democrat, I rather prefer Democrat to be there. But that notwithstanding, I would like to have people like other Republican like Bush or something like that than Trump. Is the personality. I mean, you're after what you're gonna get from a human being. Forget about human being personality. I mean, would you like to hang around Trump or be around your kids the way Trump behaved? But it's all good. This is what America want, and I voted for him. I mean, I didn't vote for him, to be precise, but America overall voted for him. That's what we have. Hopefully, it's for better. It's for the betterment of the country. So we're just gonna stay and see what's gonna happen. But it's gonna be a lot of changes. So I hope it's for better. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, man of prestige. So when I come to you, you can decide to look at it as an African and what it would mean for Africa. You can also look at it as an individual, what you think it means for you, and things that are already changing in the country as a result of Trump coming into power. For instance, we know that Facebook abandoned their fact-checking because they don't want to make Trump angry. We know that different organizations and agencies are dropping inclusiveness and diversity and things like that. So you can look at it from that point. You can also look at it from what is happening in the U.S. Senate, where the appointees, ministers who will serve under Trump are being questioned, and what lessons Africa can learn from that or Nigeria can learn from that. Okay, KJ, your turn.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Rudolph, for putting clarity to us so that we all can take our approach. I will come from this point. First of all, I'm going to talk about it because people come and they bash Trump. I am a journalist. I try to be balanced. I have my biases. I cannot say I don't have it, but I try to look at news from both sides. And I would recommend also that you also try to look at the news from both sides. There's a platform called the Ground News. The Ground News takes news from both the Republicans and Democrats, and they try to balance it up. You will see the biases. They have a meter for biases. You can actually measure the biases of what, they try to measure the biases of each report that is on it. So there are places you can go to get clear information and unbiased. They will measure for you what bias and the level of bias in every news that is published in America is out there. So, but now, as a human being, as a father, are you telling me, and for all good conscience for each one of us here, that a man who has more than 10 children or about 7 children, and all of them are doing very well, well brought up, none of them is suffering from drug, and one who has 2 children or 3 or 4, and one of them is doing very well in the terms of dealing all the history that he has and become war renowned, that the one whose children are doing very well is worse than the one whose children is not doing well. Are you guys telling me? Is that what they're telling me? I don't understand how you guys are reasoning this thing. One person child, one is not able to manage himself. The other one is their children. The other one, his children are manage themselves properly, and he's the one who seems to be the worst person. Wow. Anyway, let me come back to what it means to Africa. That's what my interest. Now, coming to the Trump presidency for me as an African, and if our leaders are people of their onion. It should be better because when it comes to table to discuss, you know that it's coming with one agenda, America first. Why don't you also come from the same agenda, coming from your country, Nigeria first? So we meet at the middle. What is good for the geese is good for the gander. So if he's demanding for good for America, you also demand for good for Nigeria, so that at the end of the day, we meet at the middle. So at the end of that drafting, whatever you are getting is the best deal you can get for your own country. Why he also gets, because that's where the world is going. He's coming to with that. Like someone mentioned about the Greenland and all that. He's going to Greenland because he sees something there for America. He wants to go there and negotiate. Yeah, he sees something good for America. He's not negotiating for himself. He could go there and do his business if he wanted. Okay, but he's looking at the future of where the world is going. And that's why I'm looking at it also. We are entering an era where nobody... All right, I give up.
No, you can't. It's his first bell is for you to round up.
Okay, yeah. So with the world where we are going to now, it has to be strong leaders standing their ground for their own country. You have to have the ability to negotiate, and even for that matter, a strong negotiation point. If not, at the end of the day, your country is going to be losing, and everything will be taken away from you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, KJ. If I have to follow up, then it means I will delay going to other people. But we'll get back to that. I hope I will remember, because KJ, the question for you will be, what is negotiation? What is intimidation? What is when you say big, strong leaders? What if another strong leader rises from somewhere else and comes? There are many complications to what you are saying.
Yeah, I'll just point the person straight to what's happening in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is better off right now than what we were yesterday. And you can stand your ground based on your number.
Okay. All right. Awambon. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. Vince, you're next. Can you hear me? Vince? Okay. I don't
Yeah, my name is Anwin. It's Anwin Boon. Anwin Boon.
Anwin Boon. Okay. Anwin Boon. Okay.
Yeah, I will not hold it. I will not hold it against you, because that is my Kusasinem from Mole Dagbon ethnic group in Ghana. You see, I will. If a man comes out to speak, I want my country first. Whatever that is going to happen, first and foremost, it must happen to my country. America first. I'm a proponent of Trump. Not that he fits me. Not that his foreign policies will affect me. There are so many American foreign policies that affected the whole world. It was because of American policies that we entered into war, the Gulf War, that saw so many lives taken. Trump wasn't there. He came and returned some of them. Millions of American people that voted for him did not vote for him simply because of how you and I feel. No, they voted for him because he's a man that they feel that is capable of running the affairs of the United States. And if he will hear me, I will tell him, just like he did in the first time, there is nobody on this earth that is perfect. Every one of us that is here, there is no one of us that is here when they open our annals that you will not see a particle of excreta in it, no matter how clean you wash it. Okay? Even if there is no particle there, dip your hand there and bring it out and smell it. It smells.
It don't do. Don't go deep into that. We got the analogy.
Dr. Rudolph, I was trained by a typical Ungwa woman and Ungwa people. So I know a little about all these things. That is how it is. For me, I will see him doing things that are going to benefit the Americans. And one thing, if Trump is hearing me, is this: he should not look at the people, because that man is a survivor. They tried to remove him they failed. They tried to remove him through legal means, they failed. They tried to assassinate him, they failed. That man survived all these things and later won all those backbiters that were trying to eliminate him. He's a strong man. And I would like him to translate that bravery into his administration and make sure that Americans, feel the impact and the goodness of his administration. That is what I would like him to do. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Very good. CM. Trump is coming. CM, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can. I can hear you. I've heard people say I've heard that Trump is coming. Today is 18th. I think that is on Monday. He will be inaugurated as the 47th U.S. president. Well, the thing is that I think listening to Trump and during his first during his first presidency, he used to say that all the crime or most of the crime committed in America are done by illegal migrants, and that is the democratic states, the cities like New York, Chicago, they are refusing to bring them for deportation. So now that they said he's going to sign the first executive order to start deportation, maybe from the one, I think that is what he's trying to carry out. But that is by the way. You see, as somebody who lives in the UK, we look up to America for leadership. I'm saying it again. So the coming of Trump, well, Trump, I wouldn't like him to be America-centric, making America great, considering anything that won't favor America, well, it wouldn't sign it or so. It's good. That is patriotism, but I want Trump to have a look at Nigeria. Why I say so is that he's not going to run for election again, so he's free to stand his ground and then tell Nigeria off. All this nonsense, arresting without just let him emphasize the rule of law and threaten Nigeria that or else they break diplomatic relations. Nnamdi Kanu cannot just be. It's an affront on international law. You rendition somebody, get into 5 years now, no trial, and you kept quiet. Nigeria is not a law unto itself. So the coming of Trump, the only superpower, that is America, I don't think is interfering in foreign whatever domestic policy. I'm saying from the point of view that Trump should focus on Nigeria. No matter the agenda, I let him focus on Nigeria. For one thing, Nigeria is the largest, the most populous black nation. And we are messing up now, full time. We never had this bad. From the beginning to the end, we are messing up. Self-inflicted damage, scoring on goals here and there. Trump should take a stand and then call Nigeria to order. You might not invade Nigeria, but then any pronouncement he makes will go a long way. So if I'm to be selfish, I will look in that direction. I will urge Trump that, look, you are now the president of the world. Forget about what people are saying. America remains the only superpower. And Europe, as far as I know, UK, they're listening more to what America says than to any other country. Even to UN. Thank you.
All right, thank you, CM. Just to point out, I'm not sure that Nathaniel Bassi will sing at the inauguration, that Pastor Kumuyu is coming to the inauguration. So there will be a lot of Nigerians. Maybe Trump will figure out where Nigeria is in the map. Kene, you're next, 3 minutes.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Damages. You see, I will repeat this again.
This has never happened. Kene's connection went dead. We're going to skip Kene and go to the flagship.
Yeah, when it comes to Trump, yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. This is what we all need to understand here. Even if Trump could not do anything for the country, for the fact that you and I, both Democrats and Republicans, are going to benefit from his policies. One of the policies is this: for the seniors, the senior citizens will be exempted from paying taxation or taxes. They've paid their dues. They shouldn't be taxed again in that country. That is one policy. Hope they hear. The second one is for some of us here that likes to work overtime at your place of work. Trump is saying that for that overtime that you're going to work moving forward, that you are not going to be taxed anymore. So more money in your pocket. You know that should be that one day you want to run, right? You have more money to organize those parties and do those enjoyment, right? So see, whether we like it or not, right? Some of us, we've seen Trump as devil, Satan. That is okay. But please do not benefit from anything that comes from Satan. You see, when you work overtime, tell your workplace they must tax you. If you have a senior parent, tell them, by parents, you must continue to pay tax. So since it's coming from Trump, you detest that Trump that bad. That is the little I can say about Trump. I will go and fact check myself on this one again. Coming to California's fire incident. See, things happened, right? Nobody's happy with what happened in California. I have friends there. I share their pains. I was on phone with some of them, calling to know how, checking on them. We have one of our panelists here. What's his name? Pansat, right? We all were concerned over what happened. Nobody's mocking or nobody's jubilating over what happened to them. This last time in my state, something like that happened, but not fire, water, right? So nobody's happy. But the fact is this, please, I will want to fact check myself again. The LA Fire Department, the current budget was cut down by $17.6 million. The budget was cut down by $17.6 million. Please fact check me on this. the mayor of California has been accused. In short, matter of fact, there is a movement right now to sue her for her inability or for her involvement in cutting down that LA fire budget. So fact check me on this. Then to confirm this false regurgitating, I don't know how they put it, claims, right? The LA fire chief, Karen Crowley or Crowdy, I don't know how to pronounce his name, also confirmed to CNN, your regular TV show, that cut in fire budget severely limit the fire department from curtailing that fire incident. Now, who is lying? See, whether you like it or not, the water hydrant has no water. Some of them no water at all, and that was why they could not, contain the incident. See, California is in a big shit, and that is why somebody like me, I will not stop by telling our people to embrace a party that want them to be living as human beings, which is Republicans. Whether you like it or not, they should embrace a party that has human sympathy.
Can I thank you? Thank you so much. Let's go to the flagship.
Thank you, Rudolph. So Monday, the new sheriff is coming to town, like you said, and everybody seems to be running helter-skelter now, trying to figure out where to hide, because the devil that will befall all American citizens and the rest of the world will be taking power following Joe Biden's exit. Let me start with the publications you're talking about that the newspapers are reporting about mass deportation. Well, that is not certain yet. We don't know. These are speculative reports that Trump is going to sign in executive orders for illegal immigrants to be deported. The question is, these illegal immigrants we're talking about, they are held by the Joe Biden's administration. It's not like Trump is just going to, if he signs an executive order to say deport illegal immigrants, they'll start knocking from door to door like the British border force folks do, looking for illegal immigrants to deport them. Those that are in jail or in custody right now that are illegal immigrants are going to be those they will start from, if at all that will happen. And again, it was during the Joe Biden's administration that these ones were held. And who said, do you know the number of immigrants that were deported within this last 4 years of Joe Biden's administration? Nobody talks about it. You know, what concerns me is this. On Monday, he's taking office. What I want to know is how and what executive orders he's signing and how they will benefit me as someone here in the U.S. and how it's going to affect the world at large. The U.S. economy, security, so many breaches that we have within the system. And also concerning, although I'm trying to see where he's going with this, the people he's appointing, his billionaire friends into office, I guess he's approaching it from a business perspective. A little bit concerning, but I want to assume that this is all meant to do good for the American economy and the American people. Israel and Palestine just signed a new truce right now to end this issue that is going on. I hear that Trump had a big role to play in it. And if he did, is this sustainable? Will they be able to hold this following Sunday? Was it Joe Biden that really made this to happen? We don't know. But let's assume that Trump said, end this reef before I get into office. People say it's a payback to Netanyahu. We don't know. But what I'm looking forward to is a better world from here within the U.S. out there to the rest of the world. We need to calm down in all of these misgivings and mishappenings, loss of lives that's going on everywhere in the world, and begin to focus on how we can each begin to sit down and learn from each other on how to fix our various countries. Trump is focused on America. Let him do his job. If he goes out of line, there are ways to get him corrected.
All right. Thank you, the flagship. Tony, you're next.
Yeah, thank you everyone again on the platform. Yes, Monday it will be swearing-in ceremony for Trump, and I think we'll see an end to all the political rhetorics. But as they say, the morning tells the day. We see threat to take over Panama, and if he fails, he will invade. President to invade Panama. I have a son who is in the military. I don't want any war. Two, we see all the threat about taking over Greenland, annexing Canada. I think talk is cheap. We have heard him say that if he comes in, he's going to bring down the prices of reduce inflation. And lately, we also hear that he said that well, it may be difficult to bring it down. So already, the outlook is looking. The outlook for me, it's not looking too good. Going by what we see. But we hope and pray that Trump's second coming would impact positively on America. For me, the first 4 years of his tenure, and this is my personal opinion, was one that saw a lot of Americans die from COVID, which was mismanaged. I saw a lot of showmanship and power play, and talk and insults. Mexico will pay for the whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, the wall. Mexico didn't pay. So this time, I think that maybe I'm looking at his cabinet. I hope we would not have the kind of job turnover, that we had in his first tenure. Even though I question, the character of some of those that he has appointed. But again, we'll see. 4 years will tell. As for the fire in California, so sorry that is happening. But I think to paint the picture that is the entire state that is engulfed in fire is wrong. And then I think we need to have some understanding of the chemistry of fire, because if you don't, then it's a problem. So I think Kenya should be a little bit take it easy, because if you look at the situation, it's not about how much would the Republican governor have done given the situation. It's debatable. That said, let's see what happens. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tony. Let's go to Bibi. Bibi, you're nice.
Yeah. So, excuse me. I would say, we know, Trump is coming in, and for me, it's not about Republican or Democrat. For me, it's about policies. I look at policy critically, and I see which one, works for the people, not just for me, but for, majority of people, that is fair. And we'll talk about the mass deportation, like the flagship said. A lot of people are on hold for deportation under Biden administration. So I believe he's going to go for those people first. They're on hold they're on deportation list, and a lot of people are incarcerated, and of course they must have committed crimes for them to be incarcerated. So yeah, I feel like it'll go for them first. So, but I don't know how. I don't really understand how, because it's kind of like a bogus thing. You just say things that he thinks his base wants to hear, like mass deportation now, because you see farmers complaining that most of their workers are immigrants, and a lot of them are undocumented immigrants, because you know that in the farming industry, people are not paying, they're not paying them, they're not paying these people well. And America is a capitalist country. These people are not being paid well and they are working under very, very, very bad conditions and no benefits. If they were to employ American citizens, they know what it's going to cost. The price of groceries is going to, skyrocket. You look at hospitality, they're immigrants. These people are not being paid well as well. It's the same thing. And don't forget that, like I said, America is capitalist country. All these corporations, they know what they are doing. They had the one employing undocumented immigrants because they still want to pay them $7.5, as federal minimum wage. They still want to stay with it because if you look at the hearing of the candidate that was nominated for the Treasury Secretary, Bezant, I don't know, I think he's a protege of George Soros, and he said someone asked him if he would raise federal minimum wage from 7.25, and he said no, it should stay that way. But so you see, they employ all these people. So I feel like and a lot of farmers are coming out to say that they don't want this, even though they voted for him, because we know the reason why they voted for him. It's just obvious. It's not about policies. So I would say, then I also buttress my point where when you say America first is good when you're first for your country, when you want your country to do well is good. But does it involve all Americans? I mean, that America first, does it involve other Americans, Black Americans, Hispanic Americans? Because they're all stakeholders in the game. It's not just for white people. So that is where I draw the line. That's why I look at policies. So I will say that quickly as well. So American first and all that. And when you talk about taking Greenland and taking this and taking other countries, they are sovereign countries. So you can't just take because you want something. Doesn't mean you take, because you're doing the same thing. You're asking Russia. You're complaining about Russia, that Russia wants to take Ukraine. So if you're saying that you should go ahead and it's okay if you want to take Greenland because it's America, is looking out for America. That is why I said we want ruthless leaders, because people want things that Adolf Hitler did. He wants to take over people, he wants to take over lands. People want that. And we have people problem. That is what we have. Oh, because it's America, you should go ahead and take it and negotiate with them. It's not negotiating, it's actually threatening them. It's threatening their existence. So when you hear all that, that is why I said, I look at policy, it facts over feelings. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. I do not care for that, actually. So I care about policies that benefit me, the DEI program that benefits me, that give me opportunity to be who I want to be here, because I've invested in this country as well. So as every immigrant, one way or the other. Because if you look at how much this so-called illegal immigrants pay into American taxes, that's what they use in paying for a lot of all these things, Medicaid, Medicare. And somebody talk about that there's no taxes on Social Security. They are trying to cut Social Security. They want to cut Medicaid and Medicare. They are cutting that. So I don't know I don't know what people don't read it, because even Trump himself, that's why I don't have any regard or respect for anyone that said he's a Trump supporter, because I believe that you don't stand for anything, because even Trump himself, he kind of flip-flop on a lot of things and you don't even understand what he himself is saying. Somebody is saying that you have to work 160 hours for you to have overtime pay, and he said no tax on overtime pay. 160 hours is a lot in a week to put in. So let me just stop at that so I can give other people.
All right. Thank you, baby. Omori, you're next.
Yeah, Dr. Damage, thank you once again. For various audience, I want to crave your indulgence once again to subscribe to the Iroko platform, so that we will no longer casting from here, we can have an alternative. I like the show, and you're liking the show will make it go far and wide. As for Trump, I'm not expecting so much from him, because I don't want to get disappointed at the end of the day. If he was a neophyte in the political terrain, I will be wondering what will happen. If somebody have seen his 4 years of calamity in America, so he's coming back. It's not strange to me in any way. But there's something people are not looking at. People are beginning to celebrate what they should be ashamed of. This is the first time we're having a criminal, a convict, an ex-convict, as the American president. And America tends to be the police of the world. They want to give the impression that they are super, you know, in the world perspective. A criminal, if you go to American jails, if you go to their detention houses, people with a less crime, they are there serving years. And an ex-convict is coming to be the president of America. We cannot change that for now because before I got to America, I used to think America was the paradise on earth. Little did I know that, you know, they could also have a criminal one day as their president. Like somebody that said, I don't know if he's a soldier. He said they tried to eliminate him. I mean, you should know better. If that was a bullet from a rifle, I think there will have been more damage to the ear than what you saw. So a mafia that can do anything for power. I was reading a book concerning this guy called Trump. He's with his connection with his billionaire friends and his dealings with the likes of Putin. I mean, you will be amazed at somebody that is coming to America not just as a president, but as the president of the world. I want to, you know, to be a police of the world. You dishing out trace here and there. I'm not moved anyway because there are institutions that will checkmate him and bring him to where he belongs. He tried same thing in the first years where he had opportunity. It's not about being a strong man. It's about building institutions. I'm not moved. He cannot do any shit. He's just coming to, you know, he's a bully. He's a bully. And there is limit to what he can do. If he feels he's strong, there are institutions that will checkmate him. He tried same the last time, but he was checkmated. I'm not expecting much from him because I know who he is. He's a bully. You know, he cannot do much, so I don't want to get disappointed at the end of the day. I'm not moved. Thank you, and God bless you all.
All right. Thank you, Amori. Let's hear from John Abba. John Abba, you're next.
Dr. Rudy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Nice to have you. I've been watching you from the very beginning, you know. Old man watch from afar now as age is telling on us now. We take our time. I don't know why Trump is even going to White House. As of my age, I already pin. I have a pull up. I don't know what the business 70 to 80 years have. It's just like Tinubu. They wake up in the morning, don't know where they are. And now the institution is ready for them. So it is what it is. The only good thing is that there is institution in America that even 7 years can rule America. But to talk about Trump policy, no policy. This man is a racist, is a nationalist that is going to die very soon and go and meet Jesus. That's the white Jesus. That's the white Jesus that KJ celebrated or celebrating. He brought a pastor from Abuja to tell us about that and offering. The Bible said the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. So why am I giving him anything? Everything I have and myself belong to God. I can give charity, but to give to a pastor to eat on behalf of me, am I stupid? But it's okay, KJ see my mind. Uh, so So Trump is not a big deal. Trump is a man that is going to come and 4 years will go so fast. And we will be talking about different things. Another thing that our people waste time talking about Trump policy or no policy. It's all about personal interest. There's nothing more among the billionaires. So we should be talking about what concerns us, how we're going to build our life, how is our children going to look like when we are long gone. Are they going to still be in America or they're going to go to the world in Africa to shape Africa? Let's see beyond this narrative of America have anything to offer anybody. It's about interest. And some of those things, this is what we should focus. Life is all about interest. I come here because I have interest in Rudolph. Even though his glasses is wearing off, he's supposed to change it, but they are not subscribing enough, so he's still wearing the old one.
I didn't do that. Someone didn't like what he's saying. But what I think, Janaba,
It's my, yeah. So all those things doesn't make any difference whether Joe Biden children are on drug, Trump children are doing well. All is their own problem. I worry about seeing the black people working on the street, being drugged and all of that generational problem that they inherited and in poverty. Seeing Nigeria now come here now become homeless. It's very rare to see Nigerian homeless in America. Now, if you go to Houston, you see them. If you go to downtown Dallas, you see them. Those are my own thing. How did they get here? What is their frustration? Anybody can become a victim of being a drug addict or any addict in this world. It's not about, it's a little thing can take you there and you'll be struggling. So all of those things we talk of like, he raised his children perfectly. That's not true. The earrings should not be ringing on the senior citizen like my ear, but it's okay. It takes us to a different level. But it's all right. I don't have all those things. Trump, if we go to another topic, Trump is welcome to the White House. My paycheck is either he go less or go. I think I reached the level now that is a fixed amount. So I don't worry so much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Janaba. Let me say that after Monday, all the problems of America will become Trump's problem. And hopefully what happened with this platform and where you have people who support Trump will not be similar to what is happening with Nigeria, where Tinubu became president and all the problems of Nigeria became Tinubu's problem and people moved their position. But we'll see what happens. We'll be here. We're going to follow Trump. I'll give two people opportunity to weigh in on something that has come up again and again. Trump was saying that one of the things he will change, which is something I think will impact some of us abroad, is that children who are born here to parents who are not American citizens, that they will no longer be acquire citizenship. So that what it means is that he hopes to change that. I just want to hear from two people. I know everybody may have an opinion. Would that be, not that you can change it if he wants to push for that, would that be something that you support? And you can raise your hand, anybody who wants to weigh in. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it's something. Yeah, it is something that I would support. My reason is because of these same people that are talking trash about the U.S. These same people that are talking down on U.S., telling us that we are not part of U.S. when in actual sense we are citizens of U.S. and we have a country to protect. We have a country where we make our living, where we make our earnings to protect. You cannot side with illegality and you come here to talk about good governance in your country. You are supporting companies to employ illegal people where they will rip them off. They will not give them health insurance. They will not give them workplace hazard insurance. They will not give them anything. Matter of fact, what they pay them is below the minimum wage. And you are supporting those companies to continue to employ illegal people. The same way they will be in Nigeria, got pregnant, then when it's time for them to have a baby, they will cross over to the US and have a baby, go back to Nigeria and begin to spew rubbish about the same country that they are benefiting from. So I support Trump. If you are truly honest, want to be a citizen of that country, you become a citizen of that country. You cannot be jotting up and down, destroying the country that you claim to be a citizen of, or you want your children to become a citizen of. See, let's tell ourselves the truth. If you want to come to US in a legal means, the door is open for you. Apply and you come to the US and settle. If you want to come through the back door, Trump is saying there will be no room for illegality again. You have to go through the right channel. You don't come here illegally and then they employ you in the farm, they employ you in the companies and they ripping you off and they are making a lot of money out of you because they don't pay you what you're supposed to be paid. And then the citizens are there looking for a job. How does that make sense? What happens employing the citizens that have paid their dues? But no, you don't want to pay them. You want to rip the illegal immigrant off because you're giving them peanuts. And people are supporting this illegal means of employment.
All right, thank you.
People don't have character, honestly.
Bibi, you're next. Unmute yourself, Bibi.
I'm sorry. I want to say that he's talking about 14th Amendment, I think, about birthright citizenship. And it's in the Constitution. Like if you're born on the US soil, you're a US citizen, whatever comes with that. But my thing is, how is that a problem if you are born in America? Well, regardless of, it's just like saying that if you are born in America, you're not entitled to go to school because your parents are illegal, whatever that means. Because I don't think, in my opinion, even if you cross the border, every human being, it's a human right to cross the border to seek an asylum. It's for the country to turn you back. So it's not like, oh yeah, they have committed an outrageous whatever crime. But I would say that how is that a problem to when anybody that is born is in the constitution, people will fight it with him. He knows he can't do that, a lot of things. I think because like somebody said, maybe Tony, he said all kinds of things. So I'm not even like bothered about things like that because I know that is not going to happen. They will fight him. There's a system in place that will fight it with him. So that is not something that I'm worried about. But what I am worried about is about, for instance, if we want to get education, regardless of you going to being an American citizen, every child has the right to go to school, and that is why I think one of the deportation, what I heard, like one of the deportation is going to come from people that that have illegal, and they will start going into school to pick up, when parents go to pick up their children in school, then they can pick them up because they are illegal, start asking for people's documentation and all of that. So everyone will have to like carry their citizenship, whatever, around with them of their birth certificate. But I just feel like the birthright citizenship, I don't think it's something that he can work on. He was just talking a lot of BS. I don't think it is.
All right. Thank you, baby. So I will hear from KJ, man of Prestige, and then forefathers will move to a different topic. KJ.
Rudolph, if you can give me 1 minute to respond to what she said, if you don't mind, please.
Yes, I also want to respond to part of what she said.
All right, I'll come to you.
Bibi, I'm not attacking you, but I was just going to say something in reference to the question you asked. So here's why they've been talking about this for many years. It's not just Trump that just came up with this. I remember when Obama was in office, there was a debate that I listened to, and the concern was birth rights to foreigners who come here to have babies, and they are given automatic U.S. citizenship. They've noticed from research or observations that folks from Russia were coming here to have babies, and they are U.S. citizens. They train them within the American system, and they help them navigate their way to sensitive areas in the U.S. And these guys tend to be spies. They are recruited as spies, but they are U.S. citizens. So they've been talking about how to mitigate that, because a lot of American data and security architecture is being breached or given out to other countries, and they're trying to figure out ways to stop that. So it's not just a recent debate that they are having. If you go to China, I don't know much about Dubai, but Saudi Arabia for sure, it's hard to get citizenship and find your way into important offices around such countries. So that's the line of thought. It's not like he's coming around to want to amend or do away with 14, but these are concerns that they have found, that a lot of American security information is being passed out to rival nations that are seeking to down America anytime in the future. That's why this debate is on. So it's not Trump. It's an ongoing conversation.
Thank you, Flagship. KJ.
All right. So I'll leave that, but I don't know. I think right now I've lost my train of thought, so you can as well go on to somebody else.
All right, man of Prestige. Sorry about that, KJ. Man of Prestige.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm not a proponent of illegality, neither coming here illegally or this bad right stuff, But like Ibri said, it's going to be very difficult for him to change that. In other words, it's in American Constitution, but for you to change it, Congress has to pass it, and it has to take about 2/3 of the Congress. Regardless, right, they control the Senate and the House. but they don't have the majority in terms of getting about 2/3 of each. So it's a difficult proposition that because most of the promise he promising is just to promise. You know, we know how presidential election work. You know, people promise, and some of them they're not going to be able to deliver. But I have a lot to say about particularly when it comes to KJ and Kenyan narrative, but that's their own prerogative. Okay, it doesn't bother me. My life is not going to change. My business, my work will still be thriving. But what I'm concerned, particular two of them, when they come here, they kind of cho about Trump and all that kind of nonsense. You are part of the people here. You condemning the kind of president you have with corruption and in Nigeria, and being somebody who has a felon, and you come here, you support another felon. What a hypocrite two of you are. So that's all I'm gonna say. But it is what it is. It's an opinion, and I respect your opinion. So let it be. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man of prestige. Let's go to forefathers.
Greetings, Dr. Damages. Thank you for having me. Greetings to the panelists, the chat, and the viewers. Yeah, Trump is coming in. For me, I look at it from the point of view that I try to empathize with Trump followers, at least the core ones, like Steve Bannon and the others that believe the white majority is under threat. And that question is getting to a head. And I think when you understand that, you understand the core supporters of Trump. Hence why the idea that this birthright citizenship is not going to be challenged, think again. Because if those people fear that most of the bets are from Hispanics, Africans, Indians, and all the rest, yeah, they will consider removing it. You don't be surprised. And if you look at most of the European countries, it's almost as if the whiter they are, the more generous the system are to the citizens. But the moment foreigners start showing up, you start seeing that they start changing their attitude towards those things. So don't put it past them that they might consider reversing that law if they feel that it's going to slow the takeover or the white people becoming minorities in that nation, because that is what concerns them. And it may sound simple, but it's something very fundamental. I've not seen any nation in history where one group is a majority and they peacefully transition to another set of people becoming majority. I've never seen that before in history. If you can find it, let me know, because America is about to go through it. And all these things you are seeing, while they are able to elect a convict versus a prosecutor, that is what is coming up. Because the prosecutor thought that they cared more about ethics. They care more about, no, they care more about living or dying. They care more about other people taking their country for them. That is why they are doing what they are doing. If you think they are crazy, they are not crazy. They know exactly what they are saying. And that behavior, I fear that Americans and the Democrats, American politicians don't talk about this enough. This is why Steve Bannon thought just Trump even hiring professionals from India and all that it was sacrilegious. He literally said they hate Americans. That's what he was accusing Trump of, just because he wanted to employ people that are qualified from overseas. These people are believers, and I've heard some of them talk, and they are willing to cause a civil war to break that country up so they don't fall to become minorities. This is something that has been going on for years, and it's coming to a head because they're worried that in the next 20, 30 years or so, you're going to have 50% minority groups, 50% Europeans, and that there are consequences. And this is a superpower. There are consequences. Why would they give up that power? The Anglo-Saxons earned that right, and you think they are just going to sit there and hand the world over to minorities? You are going to have something else coming. And I just feel like if you read that, you're going to start understanding the direction America is going now. You're going to start looking at the decision that the Supreme Court is going to be making. Trump is going to elect so many white people into top positions. The only people that are going to come next is maybe Indians. Because Indians, those ones, I'm not sure most of them, there's anything white supremacists they don't like. Because they are the original supremacists. Even in their country, they construct it like that. So they tend to like, if you look at that, his Indian appointee, the way he talks. Even Indians call him a kind of, because they believe in caste system in India, you see. Because these people, they see darker people as inferior. They don't want them to come and take over their country. And that Indians tend to support that, even if they are one of the darker ones, that the white people consider them dark. So if you understand all these dynamics, you're going to see that the Trump presidency is good in the sense that he tends to allow other nations to do their thing. He doesn't care about other people. All he cares about is white people. Or when he affects his business personally, it does shows a sense of a kind of wavering a little bit in terms of commitment to the white cause. But his core supporters are the ones you should be worrying about. Those ones believe that America is at stake and they have to fight for it. And if they don't fight for it, they are going to lose. If Trump decides that he's going to listen to them, be careful. It's not about you. Stay out of their way. And I think Nigerians and our own people should use their own this time to start building up, because Trump doesn't care too much about you. He doesn't care, except you threaten America. That's when you have a problem. You threaten white people, you have a problem. But Democrats care. They will make sure they stay in your way, make sure you don't progress, because the Democrats are the true, in terms of, how do I put it even, control freaks of the world. They are the ones that go out and mess with your system, and they believe in democracy and the freedom of, they ideologically kind of, and it makes them extremely dangerous. They kill far more. They start wars far more. Look at what these two crazies have just done when they were in office. Needless wars. They triggered cost of living crisis all over the world. For what? You want to fight Ukraine? You want to make Ukraine part of NATO? Why? Why is it so important to you? Why is it so important that they killed over 50,000 Palestinians? But they did it anyway. Because these people, the way they look at the world is very, very different. They are willing to up the ante until things get completely out of control. But look at Trump now. He's actually having conversation with China. And he's going to have conversations with Putin. He's going to have conversations with Netanyahu. He's going to try to calm the temperature down. Because historically, it turns out that that is what Republicans tend to do more. But I will leave it there. If you just track the history of Republicans, was it not Nixon that went to China to negotiate with China? Was it not? Did you see Democrats do that? These Democrats that we like to think that they are all nice and nice, study their history closely. You're going to find that it's not as clean as you like to think. Thank you.
Sorry, sorry, just one thing. I'm sorry. Quickly, you remember last week when I talked about replacement theory for white people? That is all about it. For that is the basis of everything. That is what I don't take all the. I said I look at policy, not party. I don't care about Democrat or Republican, but replacement theory. That is what white people are all about. In 2045, they are going to be in minority in America, and we as Black people, we have to find our way. We have to get our shit together. Pardon my French. That is what I am all about.
All right, thank you. Let me just point out a few things. One is Eddie was talking about Obama conducted the highest deportation in the US, which is true. And then he wanted to know why Trump is the problem. The difference between what Trump is trying to do and what Obama did. First of all, Obama did that because he wanted to pass a comprehensive immigration bill. And the way he wanted to present it was that he said, we have taken care of the illegal immigrants and the criminals and all these people. But it didn't work out well. After he passed the health care, he couldn't even move anything in immigration. Now, what people are concerned about, like what will happen, I read some stories in the newspapers today. They are saying that Trump is not just going to pick up people who are already locked up, because there are people, illegal immigrants, especially those who committed crimes in America, who are locked up in detention. Trump is not just going for them. The plan, according to anonymous people who spoke to the media, is also to go to homes of people who they know are here illegally. Even people who were given, for instance, there are people who are arrested, maybe because they're illegal immigrants, they are told to leave the country, but they don't, because they didn't commit any crime, they didn't lock them up. So they are going to go to those homes. So what it will mean is that you may see disruption of life of people. People have kids here. They will find parents that will be moved out of the country. So that's why people are making this an issue. It's not that deportation has not been going on in America. It's constant. Any president, it doesn't matter who the president is. KJ, what do you want to say?
But Rudolph, that's not the first time that this is happening now. It's not that Trump is starting that. Obama did it very well.
Yes, no, you are wrong, flagship. Obama is sent to Obama, so he doesn't do anything wrong, you know.
Because I have a friend
when
here.
as a sent, you can't do anything wrong. So
KJ, 1 minute. I have a friend here.
no, don't go there. You are going to the wrong side.
No, I just want to mention that.
No, I'm saying don't mention it because it's not. There's no need to mention it.
Democrats,
but here's what I want to say.
Why is it that when I say flagship, KJ wakes up? When I say KJ flagship, I thought you guys.
No, I just wanted to mention that it happened to somebody I know here. He was.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, all these are speculations which we have seen before, and I want to discuss from a different point, Rudolph, if I may. You see, one of the things I've come to learn is that if you have favor, if you've called favor with the media, you are reported favorably. If you don't have favor with the media, you are demonized, and every of your action is read opposite. Now, there are many good things people have done, and because those people are not in favor with the media, they are reported as being the most wicked and cruel things that happen in the people's government. I'll quickly, rotate back to Nigeria, and I use myself as an example. The Igbo people and the struggle for the realization of Igbo land has been used by the media, and there have been a media blockade of what is happening in the East. Because if half of what is happening in the eastern state of Nigeria is reported on the news, Nigeria would have been on fire. But those extrajudicial killing going on daily basis of innocent young men are not being reported, and consequently the media blacks it out. The media have blacked out since the ruling of the Supreme Court. I mean the appeal court, that IPOB is not a prescribed organization. But till today, each time they say IPOB, they say the prescribed organization. They continuously refer to it as prescribed. So if the media decides to report you in a favorable light, perhaps the things that are being said will not be said the way it is said. So I say that because I sometimes have seen news, the original tapes of those news, and what they eventually report is totally different from what the original tapes are saying. So let's be mindful of that as we go into this era. Double check your information and be sure that what you are being told on your favorite television, news outlets are really the same real news that are going out there. I just want to say that.
All right, thank you, KJ. The flagship.
Oh, no, I think I mentioned what I wanted to say, that going to people's home is not new. They've been doing it for a long time. So the speculation that this is Trump that's starting it, I think is just wrong, to just paint a dog a bad name.
Okay. Can I?
Yes, talking about, I think some of us, today we will learn today and we'll begin to think deep. History. Republicans gave you the small rights that you think you have today. Republicans fought for the black people to be free in that country. Republicans did that. They stopped slavery. It's a fact. Check it. Now, talking about replacement theory, this is the replacement theory here. While Democrats are busy building abortion clinics in black communities, Republicans, while Democrats are busy building abortion clinics in black communities and fertility clinics in the white communities, Republicans said, no, stop this abortion. It is a sin against man, and it is a sin, is a taboo against God. Stop it. That is the replacement theory. It is not a convict. It is not a fight between a convict versus a prosecutor. A backyard prosecutor anyway. It is a fight between a convict that is facing a political witch hunt versus a backyard prosecutor. It is a fight between immorality, sin against God, disrespect against God, and morality, protection against man, protection against protection to life, right? Because a child, an infant, has a life too, right? They should have a right to live. Not one careless mother decide to abort the baby at will because she is not comfortable with the pregnancy. Who asked her to open the thing in the first place? If you are willing to open it, you should be ready to keep it. I am not talking about medically related reasons. That is very understandable. If it is something that will affect life, you are free to take it out, right? Discuss with your doctor. But careless ones, the ones that jump from one man to the other, carry belly all the time and abort it at will with taxpayers' money. My tax money, use it to commit a sin against God. I say no, right? So you're talking about somebody is talking about drug. No, we have Biden giving them pipe to smoke, to take drug as much as they want, destroy yourself. And we have Trump rehabilitating them, telling them that it is not good to be on the street to take drug. Come, we'll rehabilitate you and put you back to the society so that you be useful to man. You'll be useful to your society. So see, the earlier we begin to understand that it's a movement, a satanist movement against the children of God, which you are, unless you've decided not to be created by God, unless you've decided to have fallen from heaven, that is okay. But as far as I'm concerned, yeah.
Where did Biden give people pipes?
Oh yeah, it is the record. California, Los Angeles, on that street. It is on record. I can pull it up and share it right now. You can share it for everybody to see. Give them pipe. They say giving them pipe will make them to take the drug in a more secure and safe means. In this country, we all witness that. This is not the first time we said it on this platform.
Oh, okay, thank you. Bibi, one more reaction, then I will end up.
I know, Dr. Damages. I'm just looking. That's why I said we need live fact check. You have to really get to because this is how misinformation spread. I'm telling you, this is exactly what people take from this, because a lot of people are listening and watching what he's saying, and a lot of people are lazy to do research anyway. So they just take this and run with it. How can you say you're talking about abortion, you're talking about morality? What about morality about rape? What about school shooting? How is it pro-life when before they are born, but why isn't it pro-life when after they're born, after birth? What about mass school shooting in America? So this is not about Republican or Democrat. I don't know what you're talking about, because I don't know. I'm not fighting you that you're a Republican. Whatever you are, you can be. That's your choice. It's your prerogative. But I'm saying that you cannot say you are pro-life until after children are born. You cannot give them breakfast and lunch in school. So we have to look at things. You have to really look at things as a whole, not just to pick and choose, or Christianity, or you are the moral police that will judge people and that will say they spread their legs. What does that even mean? Do you know what women go through when it comes to abortion? You don't even know that abortion is not just, and Planned Parenthood, like somebody type, is not just for abortion. So you should really do your research, Kenneth. Please don't just come and give narrative. I don't want to use some words because we have to be respectful, but just feel like you should be cautious of what you say. And
be free. Use any word.
No, I can't. I'm just saying that you should to read more, because you can't just give unintelligent feedback on things. That's not how things are done. You should really learn the history of America, learn what is going on. That will make you to understand how to react to things and what. Then you can't just pick and choose about morality. Nobody can judge anybody on morality. How can you say
Dr. Dame, just a minute.
No, minute.
Just let me count again. Because
how can you say rape is okay? Raping children is okay. Look, Dr. Morality, if you can have a live fact check on the screen and look at the state that have highest case of incest and rape and all that. Look at that. Look at higher schools that are not that are a state that list in education. Look at it. It's not about religion, about loving Jesus. If Jesus were to be alive today, because Jesus gave progressive views. If Jesus were to be alive today, he said, feed the poor. He said, love everybody, love people regardless. Why are we picking and choosing?
The fact is that we've already onboarding what has become. People should live with that.
I know I'm not here to banter who is moral with you, because I'm not going to pick and choose what morality means. So it's not about people, because I feel offended as a woman when you said they spread their legs and do all that. That is very offensive. You shouldn't be saying that. That shows that you don't have knowledge of what you're talking about.
All
So
right.
please.
Thank you, Bibi. Thank you, everybody. We have to move away from this topic. I see people in the backstage. They want to join us, and people who are in. But we come back in a minute. Let's take a break. I believe I want to show a few videos.
Pontificate about a free press. You pontificate about a free press. You are hurting me. You are hurting me. You are hurting me. I'm asking questions after being told by Matt Miller that he will not answer my questions until I'm asking questions. Saying that Israel's doing genocide and extermination, and you're telling me to respect the process. Criminal, why aren't you in The Hague? May 31st statement to block the ICJ orders. You blocked the ICJ orders.
All right. Sorry. I wanted to play our man, come back to our man, the man of the week.
By recognition coming from the list coming from the Department of
just say I move for the rescission of my first motion.
Okay.
Of my amendment, yes.
I rise to move the motion as the decision move as amended. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I move to rescind the decision. The resolution of the first motion I move.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, sorry, sir. I rise and I move to the issue to recite
the resolution of the first amendment
moved by
thank you.
Motion.
All right, that's a lawmaker representing Oyo State, not representing Boko Haram territory, Oyo State. Where is
not from Edo State?
Not from Edo State.
What party does he belong to?
Probably he went to the same university. Is it APC? Where is Show? I think it's right. All those people. So,
is it from APC?
If you allow me, I'll comment and I'll go back to some of these people behind can come.
Dr. Damages.
Yeah.
Is it from APC?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because if it's from APC, it is not something new. We have one in Edo State as their governor now. So it's very common with APC and Democrats. This is not new. You understand? Okay. So we already know the kind of thing they come up with.
Make room for people who are backstage to join us in this conversation. So
okay, let me drop my last sentence and I will go, please.
Okay. One sentence.
Yes. Somebody, I think it was two Nigeria wrote on the comment section that all the wars we could think of in United States, ranging from World War I to Korean War and all that, all of them were caused and aided by Democrats. That is one. Two, talking about birthright, citizenship and all that, right? Countries like UK, they don't have it. You don't become a citizen because we're giving birth in the UK. And that is what exactly, if possible, what Trump is trying to, enforce in the United States. So it's not new. We've seen that in the UK and other countries. They are doing that. So why is US different, right? And again, when you try to educate some people here, just like Flagship and KJ is trying to educate some people, they are refusing to be educated. That is what is really, really annoying me. Not that they cannot hear. They can hear, but they cannot assimilate. They cannot put it in their score. That is the problem. And these are the same people that claim to be educated because they can speak English. They think they're educated. But when you don't learn, I don't know. But the fact is, Trump is coming. So we all should embrace this fact that he is coming to become your president. But if you think you will not be comfortable while he's the president, the door is open. You can go to Canada. You can go to UK. You can come to Nigeria. We can stay here and enjoy Offensala. But the fact is, he's becoming your president and he's going to implement policies that is going to benefit you. That is the fact. So we should try to be losers in a happy way. You cannot be a loser and you're killing yourself. You can change it. Sometimes some things you can change. So bear with us. We are going to rule 4 years. After 4 years, 8 years is coming. After 8 years, we're going to sack Democrats. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right.
Dr. Rudolph, the Iraq war was not started by Democrats.
Yeah, it's too hard to follow and correct all the things that Ken talks about. But I want to welcome Ike. Ike, welcome to the show. Paul, welcome to the show. I see Jide and James at the back end.
Yeah, if you allow me to make my comment, I'll give way for.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say, with the that media that you played. First of Anthony Blinken, I think sometimes, you see, these things we should see more of this kind of thing in Nigeria. You see, if and I will not, I will not blame any journalist if you failed not to do it, but I would probably say that those who are bigger, like those owners of the media who still practice journalism, people like John Momo and Nduka Obaigbena, should be able to ask such questions. Should be able to look at this.
Did you say Nduka?
Nduka. It's not what's his name. What's his name?
Nduka who?
Obaigbena.
The one that at
this day news.
Nduka
Obaigbena.
You said he should hold the government accountable.
He should be able to, because these are his friends. He should be able to hold them.
All right.
Them questions that needs to be asked. Okay, because if we are doing that, sometimes we know that such people are in the are going to be sitting and asking those questions. They will, it's just like when you meet with people like Fox, what's his name, Wolf of CNN. It's not. Sometimes you hold back a bit because you know that he can take you on any which way you want it. So, and then the legislator that we saw, I think sometimes they elect these people as comedians so they can go and help them, be able to divide the money without fighting. If not, how does a city, a community, a people elect such a person, okay, to go and represent them? Because if you can't even be able to move emotion, I don't know. Even in secondary school, those of us who are in debating and literary society, you are taught how to move emotion. If you can't move emotion, you can't be a member of the club. What have they been learning, for crying out loud? And even if you didn't do all that and you got into their house, what about the time of the time that they took time to go and teach you people how to move motions and be able to move your bills and all that? You didn't learn that one? What about your aids? They didn't teach you? Come on. These things are not... And look, there's nothing that says that you cannot even speak your language. If you cannot understand it, you better speak in your language so that people can understand what it is they're paying you. Don't embarrass yourself and embarrass the nation by doing this nonsense. And even you couldn't even repeat what the speaker is telling you. I have been laughing all through. Since I saw it on Friday, I've been laughing at it. It's not good at all. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, KJ.
And thank you, Bibi. I'll come back later, but thank you for being here. Please come and don't feel threatened. Give your view the way you like it, whether we agree with it or not. That's your view. You have the right to give it.
All right, thank you, KJ. Let's change the topic. I want to welcome Jide also to the platform.
Sorry, Dr. Rudolph, before you change the topic, can I make one comment about what was being discussed, if possible?
Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everybody. It's a happy Saturday for us to be here. First of all, I want to apologize for BBMOS for the comment of Brother Ekene. It's very insulting. All of us have wives, we have mothers, and we have sisters. Such a comment should not come from a man. And that statement is disgusting for me. And I don't know how every one of us had what they can say in an open forum like this, and nobody made a comment about that. That is too insulting. You don't use such word. We have mothers, we have sisters, and we have wives. Women have a respect. A woman doesn't go to abortion clinic if a man does not go to a woman to force a woman to rape a woman, or to force a woman to have pregnant. A woman does not go to do an abortion, right? In as much as I personally do not support abortion, it's a personal decision for somebody. But for Brother Kenneth to say that if it's not a woman that opens her leg, that is an insult. Because as he's saying, he's even talking to his own wife and his own daughters and his own mothers. Such a statement should not be made. It should not be allowed to go unnoticed in this kind of platform. Why should you use such a statement on women? Are they not human beings? They carry us for 9 months. You go to them, right? Before a woman says she want to go and abort a baby, or a woman that is raped, or a woman, whatever happens to a woman, is a man that puts a woman in a situation where she has to make a decision for her life. But for you to come here to say you open your legs, because when you open your legs, why? Come on, we're bigger than this. So my sister, I want to apologize. This is not the mentality of men. It's not all men that thinks or reason the way Kenneth have just said. So I'm really very pissed off when he said that. Because if he said that before my daughter, that's what I'm not going to take. Right? So please, sorry, and I apologize on behalf of the men that are here, because each and every one of us, we are responsible. 99% of us are here are married. We have children, we have daughters, and all of us as mothers. So I don't want people to use such words in a place in a beautiful platform like this to degrade women. Why should you degrade women? So that's the only thing I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ike. I always believe that this marketplace of ideas will always deal with issues that do come up. And thank you. And just to connect it to the final thing, what we've been discussing, which was the kind of what will happen from Monday, because the language of politics has changed since Trump came in. And a lot of things are now acceptable in the public space. And we think it's okay. And we're all going to see that change in the language to become more pronounced. All right, let's move the topic forward. We are going to Nigeria. We're coming back to Nigeria. And someone mentioned Nduka, I think it was KJ. I think, let me go to Tinubu. Tinubu's tax reform has just been got the endorsement of governors of Nigerian states, decided that, okay, we are going to support it, but we are not going to support it the way it was presented by Tinubu and his people. So let's go there and talk about what does that mean, because it's a win for the president. Even if they cut down on the percentage that we go to states that derive the resources. So let's talk about it in general. But before we do that, let me play one of Tinubu's people talking about what this is going to be like. A little bit of him talking.
Structural. Do you know how many times Nigeria removed fuel subsidy in the past? I've lost count. I don't know anybody here who knows how many times since independence we had removed fuel subsidy. Why is it that it's always coming back? Does it have 9 lives? It was because we thought we removed subsidy, but we knew we did not. You can only remove subsidy when you set the market structures for price determination. If that structure has not been set, you know what? Even when the president said May 29, subsidy was gone, we didn't set that market mechanism, was not set. So people started looking at the price. NNPC said, don't worry, that's not the price. NNPC said, the price is this. NNPC was setting the price of PMS. Before we could blink, subsidy was back. And the other thing about this subsidy is that the level of fraud and corruption inside it is better imagined. Because the incentive for fraud is so huge, there's almost nothing else you could do but to remove that subsidy. As painful as it has been, I believe that it is the necessary decision that we eventually took as a country. And we can now say that for once, subsidy is gone. I'm not sure I'll be very popular with these words I'm saying, but it's good that this is being recorded. Maybe about 2 years later, some people will watch it and say yes. Now, I'll tell you, in terms of what is, 3 things that stand out for me. One of it is economic stability. Okay? You know, stability does not mean that you are in the place you want to be. It means that you stop going up and down, because not knowing whether you're up or down in itself is stressful and it can be painful, right? market confidence is returning. Do you know that one of the indicators is when foreign portfolio investment is coming?
All right, sorry about that. I got the wrong video. But I hope most of you have been following the debates about the tax bill, and the resistance was coming from the north. They didn't want the government to change the structure where the government distributes money using this structure where there is one that is shared amongst everybody in the country, every state in the country, which is called equity, 50%, and then there's one that is shared according to the population of each state. So if you have more people, you get more money, and then there's an aspect depending on now shared to the states according to how much they were able to put into the system. Let me start with you, forefathers. What do you make of the governors turning around to support the president on this key issue, reform that he wanted to make?
Thank you for that. I think maybe they feel like it's neither here or there. Because if you look at the bill, it's not going to change that much on the ground. From what I gather, it's not even designed to raise more revenue for the government, which for me is like, what is the point then? It's just to allocate money to different areas. And the fact that the tax bill is going to favor the South is not in dispute, because from what I gather, some of the changes that were made in there includes tax relief for small businesses and stuff like SMEs. And you know where most of the SMEs are concentrated. It's mostly in the South, and if we look at the South, it's mostly in the Southwest. It's going to be concentrated. So they are going to get a lot of the benefits that flows from that. And when it comes to payment of tax, the people that have least, it tends to hit them harder. And if you look at that from that point of view, you're going to see that it's going to hit the North harder. So the Southern states generally are going to benefit more from it. Hence, not surprised the Northern states are questioning the tax bill, because the people that is going to affect most will complain. But I think all in all, if it's going to clean up, I'm not sure what it's going to truly do. If it's actually going to streamline Nigeria's taxing system, and it's going to enable the government to actually be able to collect, especially more tax in an organized manner, that is a good thing. Sometimes nations, not everybody is equal in nations. We have to start getting familiar and okay with that. America, the America itself, not all states are the same. You know, it favors some states than others. The same thing in the UK. In all countries, you have that. So the Northerners blocking it because of it doesn't favor them, I don't think it's a viable argument. For the sake of the nation and for our greater interest, it's not the best argument for that, even if it is a fact. Some people, when you tell them that it's going to favor the Southwest the most, they'll just get triggered. Like, why are you saying that? As if it's not true. If it is true, it is just what it is. But for me, that is part of being part of a nation. Even in a family, not everybody is the same. So that's how I look at it. And the only area that I'm quite disappointed by is that it's not necessarily designed to raise more revenue for the government, because I thought that should have been at the core of it. If the government have more money, they can leverage that to get more money from financial institutions overseas to be able to carry out more projects in Nigeria. Most nations live on debt. Why is it that African countries cannot get it? Because we don't generate a lot of internal revenue. That is the problem. That's basically what international organization use to give you a kind of credit rating, really, because they're going to look at how much can you generate every year, and then because of that, they will say, okay, this is how much we can give you that you can reliably pay back or service. So I have a little bit of disappointment that it's not designed to raise more money. But apart from that, I don't think it's neither here or there. Thank you.
All right. I just want to point out that I think it's designed to raise more money. They won't be doing this if they are not going to raise more money.
That's what I was told.
No, it's not. It's not. It's going to raise more money in several ways. But let me hear from you guys. Let's start from Paul. I know that I went up, but Paul came in. I wanted to hear from people who came in just now. Paul, go ahead. Welcome to the show. Okay, Paul cannot figure out how to. Go ahead.
No, because of the noise, so I mute. So talking about the tax thing, to some extent, it is good if you look at it in certain ways. Like, for example, I'm not talking about New York State. I'm talking about just New York City. The city of New York, the population of the city of New York is more than 9 states in America. You understand? Like the state of Montana, it's like 3 times the size of New York. You understand? And one city in New York is even more than their population. And so what do you expect in things like that? Which I do understand. But on the flip side, if federal government with their own wisdom cannot do what, like they always claim, our founding father did, then shame on them. Then I expect these northern governors to do what they are doing. If federal government wake up and start making a lot of revenue from cattle, if they start making a lot of revenue from the lithium, the other things, all the minerals and the natural resources we have in the north, do you think the northerners who make money? You understand? But when we leave it for one Alaji to make those money, for one governor to make those money, we don't know how much revenue we make from all these things. Tinubu, finest man, isn't the minister of solid mineral and natural resources. How much revenue did we get from there? You understand? They want to die, follow crude and all and the likes over the seaport thing. Federal government is not doing anything to invest in places like on a port, Port Harcourt, and the seaport. Calabar seaport is there. In Delta State, we have 2 seaports. We have Warri seaport. We have Sapele port. You understand? They want to push all the way to Alaja, where we have the Delta Steel Company, so that they can carry heavy duty vessels to lift off steel and the likes. They abandon all those things. I like this governor to just be stupid and fight federal government. I like it like that. You understand? When federal government, they have all these things. You can't touch it. Back in the days when we were very little, there's this song they used to play like ad. Those days, they say, those things government property and economic sabotage. How government just have all these things and nobody's touching it? Go and look at the rubber, the cotton, things that we have that they just don't touch. They just don't do anything with and every other thing. So if the people who have all these things in their backyard, federal government can't invest in all those things, that's how you spread your investment in the country wide. So government is not even doing their own part. That's why you see Lagos State will want to stand tall, make all this revenue based on our international airport, based on the seaport and the likes. You understand? Directly and indirect investment will come in all those places. Look at the traffic that people are going through. The price of properties in Apapa has gone down tremendously. People fail to understand that Apapa is GRA. As we have Ikeja GRA, that's how we have Apapa GRA. Colonial master back in the days, like they call them. I know forefather don't like those words. They live there. How does that property started going down? You understand? Because of the traffic and everything, business can't go well. So if these guys will frustrate federal government, go and invest in all those mineral and the natural resources we have scattered in the whole 36 states, then we'll be making money. If they are making all the money in Zamfara, how much revenue do we get from gold? Remember, Zamfara don't even have an airport. You understand? But Buhari played a no-flight zone for many years because of their stealing gold. This guy will fly shopper, they throw weapons to these people, and they carry gold. That's why you get gold very cheap in some places like the Middle East and Indian. They just come our country, they take all this gold and the likes. You understand? Look at the fight. Look at what Trump is fighting over Greenland. You understand? Is it the snow there? No. The natural and the mineral resources that they have under those things there. That's why Trump is fighting for those things. Even when he's a NATO member, the place is protected. You understand? For the greed of how we make money. But our federal government don't do anything. You understand? Neither they will continue to kill all my family just because they want to make money from crude oil and the likes. Look, I like the fight. I like the governor to continue to do stupid. If government invest, like I said, because Lagos used to be formal capital. If government go and spread investment, put money on those investments and buying cars and furniture every year. If they put investment in everywhere, tell me whether these states will make their own revenue. That is where I'm coming from. So I like the fight.
All right. Thank you, Paul. We're giving everyone 3 minutes to weigh in on this. The governors agreed to keeping VAT on the basis of 50% equity. They want that to remain what it is at the moment. 30% derivation. So what it means is that if it's coming from your state, you get 30% of that for those states. And then 20%, which is the current thing for in operation. So you're moving from 20 to 30 for derivation. But what the initial proposal was saying was 60%. So Jide, Wayne.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Damages. I would like to continue from what Paul emphasized on a lot of things. So I'll continue from that. I'm going to talk about it from an historical perspective because so this is my major point. Nigeria is still under colonialism. It's simple. Like, I don't want to go into going back and forth about Nigeria is still being colonized. 1960 is all a farce. We are still under colonialism. So if you look at what happened during colonial era in most of African territories, you would see that when the so-called colonial masters like Paul called them, our forefathers was not like, I don't like it, right? These colonialists, they exploited our people and took tax that they never had. They took tax from them. In fact, the Gari that we are now consuming in Nigeria, if you go look at the issue of Gari, it's connected to the tax exploitation of our so-called colonial masters of that time. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of that time, but there was heavy taxation on the people when they did not have anything. Now, I will now connect it to the present. Why do I say we still have colonialism in Nigeria? The elites of Nigeria, they are now those so-called colonial masters. They are now them now. So they put them there, they left, they put them there to represent their interests. I have just 3 minutes. I said that, Paul mentioned something about the resources that we have in Nigeria and why they've not been harnessed to generate revenue. So there's something we need to understand. I've talked about this before on this show. In the 1980s, Nigeria signed an agreement. That agreement is still being implemented up to now. It's still on course. It has not expired. Which was called the Structural Adjustment Program, where the Nigerian government, the Nigerian state, cannot harness its resources for public need for the people of Nigeria. It should be controlled by multinational corporations or private entities. That's the reason why the resources of the Nigerian people cannot be used, cannot be harnessed for the development of Nigeria. Look at what they did in Libya when Muammar Gaddafi nationalized the oil in Libya. Look at what they did. Libya never borrowed money from IMF and World Bank. They never borrowed any money from IMF and World Bank. And Libya was called a sponsor of terrorism. And look at Libya today. Look at what they did to Libya. That's to tell you what we are fighting against. But we don't realize we are fighting against it. So the point I'm making is that these policies that have been implemented by the Nigerian government are a manifestation of why we need to understand that we are still under colonialism. These policies are colonial policies. They are there to entrench and make the people miserable. I'll just stop there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jide. We'll go to CM. CM, you are next.
Okay. You see, my quick take on this on this tax bill and the sort of amendment on it by the governors and Tinubu is this. You see, the way the president sounded at the outset, that the tax bill has come to stay, and then he took some intervention, particularly in the north. They felt it's against them. They threatened the fire and brimstone unless something is. In fact, one northern politician said it should be thrown into the trash can. What I want to what I want the president to know is this: if you will continue like this, it means that any other policy you bring out, they will go and tell you that, look, we need to amend it. Otherwise, it will, sort of twisting your arm. If you are not sure of a particular bill and what what you are going to get out of. You don't bring it just to score political points. I do not see why we should change the tax bill in which you said 60% should be for derivation. In other words, you want people to go and then look in west and see what they could do to be able to bring up something. And then they are now forced to change it to 30%. When you said initially that population should be 20%, equity should be 20%, now they are making equity 50%. It's like they are running the government for you. It shouldn't be. I do not see. Left for me, we share something. Nigerian resources should be shared based on 5% for population. 5% should be for population, 15% maybe for equity, 80% derivation. Everybody should be able to work hard and then bring something to the table. And this sort of what this reminds me of, sort of what this points to is Tinubu should be fast in his restructuring. You can't be, what you want is that to do something for themselves, give them the power, share the weight of the federal government, remove so many responsibilities from the federal, give them to state. You cannot be having lithium in your state and you are borrowing money. You can mine it, keep 80%, bring out 20%. This is what we need to do. We can't be practicing feeding bottle democracy in 2025. That is what all these things are. Not all these half measures. You go back. You are not doing anybody a favor. Some states have coal. They can partner with anybody and generate electricity at least for themselves. So why should we be doing all this? That is what this thing tells me. To me, Tinubu is not fast enough, and I want him to be very, very fast in restructuring all these things he's doing through the back door. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sam. The flagship.
Thank you. So can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, good. The fight that is going on right now, I think it's not fair to say all 36 governors were in this fight. The North know how disadvantageous this tax reform would be to them. There is nothing that they are producing right now. Don't forget that the North is being ravaged by insecurity. So if this proposed tax bill by Tinubu goes through, they are totally out of finance, of funds, because their farmers or their farmlands cannot be cultivated. Terrorists are everywhere in the North, and they are reduced to nothing. To add on top of that, the Northern folks are really not trained. Trained would be a bad word. They are not used to working. It's always been reliance on what the South provides. And the majority of the oil wells in the South are owned, or should I say, given to folks from the North. So it makes sense to them to say all the revenue generated from the South, from the oil, should come to the North. So right now, they opposed the 60% for derivative. That's not going to do them any good. 20% on population, and they have the larger numbers. I thought that this would be something that would be welcoming to them, since they have the numbers, they can use it to their advantage. But does this not bring to light something that some of us have always queried and questioned in the past? That number that is being attributed to the North, that is more than the South, places like Kano, Sokoto, Borno, and the rest of that, they may really not have it. It's not what the census, whatever the figures were from the last time, that shows from the North that really is. Because if the 60% as proposed by the president was allowed, they don't have the population to cultivate their lands. The cattle rearing they are doing is just only the Fulanis that are there. So it's going to be very disadvantageous to them. That's why the Northern governors fought back. I was hoping to see that the governors from the South would at least push back against the North in this reform that Tinubu proposed. And lastly, here's what it is. Tinubu is paving the way for his son to become governor of Lagos. That's why he proposed the 60%. And if that had gone through, you all know that the money and the taxes that will be gotten from the South, majorly from the Southwest, is going to go to him. Let's be frank about it. Lagos and maybe Port Harcourt, let's add Warri to Delta State to it, may get the biggest share. And the folks in the north are not willing to release their natural resources. They're not willing to mine them, or at least allow the money that is gotten from it to go to the national account. It's only designated to a selected few there. So why not take from the south, where it is free and they get the majority out of it, than having this bill go through? So I think that their pushback favors them. To those of us here in the south that are going to be getting 30% of what is taken out of our lands, it's disadvantageous to us. My blame actually is on the southern governors, majorly those in the south and the east or southeast, that never pushed back to ensure that the resources, they are paid well from it, or at least it is apportioned to their states at the maximum level.
All right, thank you, Flagship. Let's go to Tone. Oh, Bibi, you.
No, Dr. Dome, can I leave now and come back, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Tone, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that it's unfortunate that the issue of the tax bill is politicized the way it is. And the reason is not far to seek. For instance, if you take the issue, the derivation, and the components that make up derivation for which revenues are dispensed. If you take population, just like Flagship said, it's the reason why population has become a problem in Nigeria is because people know that the more population that they have, the more that they are going to have in terms of derivation. And that for me is nonsense. And that's why we haven't had, a credible census. In fact, when last did Nigeria have a census? Because it will always be an issue, because something else is tied to it, revenue is tied to it. I don't know if that's a proper way to go. But that said, I think that, if you look at all the various zones and states in the country, I don't think there is any state that does not have some endowment, whether solid minerals, whether whatever, and I think it's the failure of those states and the institutions concerned to exploit, the resources that they have and use it for their own benefit. That is generating this stuff. The governors, of course, will fight back because they know the more money they have from the federal, the more they can do whatever they want, the more they can pocket. And then there's also, I think, the fear that there's a Lagos model that people have behind them that is probably behind this tax bill thing that is being proposed, that eventually probably would have one company, that would be in charge and just like it is done in Lagos, and who knows what happens when that happens. So there's so much suspicion, especially from the north and also from the south, that there's some sinister motive behind the bill that is being proposed. My advice, I will key into what CM said, that you see, states should be left to generate, giving a leverage, to hold back whatever revenues are generated from the areas, and then send something, a particular percentage to the center. If you do that, this craziness about how many percentage should go to VAT or go to, if you take Lagos, for instance, Lagos is fortunate to have a concentration of a lot of, industries because it was the capital. It has a port, it has an airport, and so on and so forth. And this was not built by Lagos itself. There's a lot of federal might in it. So now, if on the basis of that, it gets more than every other part of the state, that's not fair in my own thinking. So I think there's a need actually to even rearrange, look at the entire strategy and maybe retool it or rejig it in a way that it will favor everybody. And I think that will mean every state, whatever you generate, take a certain percentage, and then send the rest to the center. That's the way I look at it. And then you will have less acrimony than we're having now.
Can I just make a quick interjection that it's going to be quite important. From what I gather, the US is going to be very quick. The US federal allocation in terms of resources, the US government actually consumes far more revenues than Nigeria in terms of percentages. From what I gather, they consume. Let me get the precise figures that was given here. They take up about 50 to 60% of the revenue generated in America versus 40 to 35, while in Nigeria it's 50-something%. And this tax proposal they are trying to bring forward now is going to even reduce the share of the federal government to 40-something% even further. And I think when we are talking about this, we have to be careful what we are wishing for ourselves here, because we are not necessarily seeing what the American government is doing. What they do is because they take a lot of tax from people, even if some of the states are running their own oil companies and all the rest, the federal government takes a lot of money from all the staff anyway. And that's what the northern people are thinking too, because they have a lot of workers. If those workers start working, they start taking a lot of tax, it's still going to go to the center. And so all those pieces is what they are thinking about, that they are getting taxed more, even if they have less resources in terms of on the ground, because the moment they start working, they will get taxed anyway. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, go ahead, KJ, before we go to Man of Prestige.
Okay, thank you so much. Forefather, let's be very careful when we're comparing what goes on in Nigeria with what goes on in the US. Because there are some states in the US where they don't even collect income tax. Okay? There are some states that have exemptions, certain these things. There are certain states that have exemptions of particular age people, different ages. Okay? There are certain states that also provide resources for certain families who cannot meet up basic obligations. So when we bring the US and throw it into Nigerian conversation, it's unequal. And that is the problem when you pick up the price of gas in Nigeria and compare with that of the US. There are certain places where these things are subsidized even further. At the end of the year, you can, if you are a businessman like myself, you can file for your tax and say, this is how much I spent on gas, and they will be refunded to you. It doesn't happen that way in Nigeria. Okay, so having said that, let me go straight to the tax reform bill. What the North is afraid of is going back to pre-independence tax
structure.
Yes, structure. That's what they're running away from, because they know that one was based on what you produce in your locality. There was no central collection. Now, I have a video where they were destroying beer. I don't drink beer. They were destroying beer. It's a trending video on X. They loaded it and they're using earth-moving tractors to crush those cartons of beer and those bottles. But at the end of the year, you want to collect tax. You want to collect VAT on that which you are destroying in your states. You want to collect the beer drank in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Benin, in Enugu. You want to collect from it. And we are saying that is not fair. And we are saying that if you don't drink beer, don't collect from the VAT on beer, because it's also haram to you. Okay? As you see me, so I don't belong to the secret courts in my community. When they are serving their beer, and no matter how tasty the pepper soup is, I can't go there and go and say, nah, let me join people today. This thing is too sweet. No, I can't go there. Once I go there to partake, they will automatically initiate me by force. Even if not, some things will happen to me that I will not like. Okay? So, sorry, before you ring your bell, I'll just hold your bell out with, I beg you, no verse. Now, having said that, you see, the collection is unfair. And my biggest challenge in this thing is this Eastern State governors, the governors of River State, the governors of Akwa Ibom, the governors of Cross River. These people have chains of how they can make money. Look, this year alone, there was a beach, I'm trying to remember the name before I came on this thing, that the people have discovered in Akwa Ibom, which is 45 miles. It is more white sand than any other part of West Africa. These are tourist attraction centers. If these things are brought forward and developed, which country that does not develop its waterfront? Which country? So what I thought the governors should have gone, and that's why at the beginning of this program, I say it is now how to do with people who can discuss and be able to dialogue and get something out of for their people. You can't sit before a millionaire and you're discussing and you have not come with a plan. So that if he says this is what I must get, you say this is also what I must get. If the southern governors, the eastern governors, and all the southwest governors had met and say, okay, if they demand that this thing must continue, we also demand for seaports to be started. You see, equation go balance. We will not be worried. But they go there and laugh it off. Anyway, we are friends, no problem. Your people are suffering. The Niger Delta, I did a documentary on Niger Delta. The thing till today has not still been cleaned. Those people don't have fish, they don't have water to drink. It is still that same way. And then we go to a meeting and they say, no, it must remain the way we want. And you people accept and come out and you are rejoicing. Well, we have done it. We have done. That is the burn of Nigeria. The next 60 years will still be the same place until we push people to the point where they can think and invent ideas that can help develop Nigeria and their society. It's not going to change. You can't continue to collect from the center. You keep dragging from the center. How long will it go to? Let me tell you something. Let me shock you. This is my own opinion. If the South had refused their own this thing, you see, they will have divided the country. That's the next idea that we'll have seen. It will have been divided. But because we keep accepting and giving them that, you can go ahead and do what you want. That's why we keep being where we are. And nobody's going to move forward. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Man of Prestige, hold on, okay? Before you speak, let me just remind our audience that tomorrow on 90 Minutes Africa, we have Dr. Moses Paul joining us. He's an author and thought leader in Free Nigeria movement. He's also one man who has been traveling with P2B in the last 1.5 years all across the world and Nigeria. So he's going to join us. He's going to tell us about P2B that nobody knows, which will be quite interesting. If you can join us, please do. He's one that all the pictures you see of P2B, all the videos of places he's been to, he's the one responsible for that. So if you can join us tomorrow, that would be wonderful at 12:30 p.m. New York time and 6:30 p.m. Nigeria. All right, Man of Prestige, we have about 5 minutes before we hand over to the next stream.
Okay, you need to add a minute to my time because I have something. I'm going to speak about this tax. Then I need to add something that's very dear to me. So let me begin. I'm a proponent of tax increase in Nigeria. The tax increase the tax need to be reformed in Nigeria. There's no doubt about it. Because if you look at Nigeria state right now, I believe right now we have one of the lowest tax, in the whole world. I think we are contributing about 5% that we contribute to our GDP, which is very low compared to other developed countries and that country, which contribute like about 15 to 17% to their GDP. So we can't live on that. We definitely need a tax reform. But the only issue I have, is our per capita income needs to increase in order to merit that tax increase. That's a reform that has to be done. I mean, there's no way about it. We definitely need a tax reform, but it has to be, it has to be proportional to the, done. But the only area I'm concerned again is, how the tax is going to be collected. Because right now we're hearing there's an agency that's going to be collecting the tax reform, but I'm kind of skeptical because what we have in Lagos is Alpha Beta. It might become Alpha Omega, right? When Tinubu finish, because there's no doubt about it. We know what goes in Nigeria. So that's my only concern. So let me go about this tax reform, what we are seeing right now. I think what's causing the problem is the VAT part of it, the VAT. Like Tinubu proposed the 60-20-20. I think equality 20, population 20, and 60 for derivation. In my own opinion, that's close to being about right. Or they negotiate at least 50% from derivation of 45 or whatever, but not what the governors are proposing. Because if you look at what the governors are proposing right now, there's nothing different from the existing protocol. Because all they did, they moved equality, you move 10% from equality and put it in the derivation. That's all they do. There's nothing different. I'm even surprised Tinubu is about accepting it, but I don't know. I'm even, faulting the certain governors for making that kind of proposal. That's not even close. Derivation should be at least 50%, regardless of, say, let's say I'm from the Southeast, it's going to affect us, but that will wake up the governors and everything. They have to, they have to do something for themselves. So that's why I'm faulting the certain governors for coming out with this. What they're proposing doesn't make sense because we have the population still 50%. So they change from 20% equality. They put that 10% and put it in derivation 30%. So it's not close. There's nothing good in my opinion. That's what I have to say. Yeah, so we should what come out in that proposal. I think everything is still in the making. There's nothing like everything is dust. No, it's not dust. Like I said, the governor didn't change that much. It's just 10% they change. So there's no difference. So having said that, I think what concerns me a lot is about what's going on in the Southeast. That's where I consider that a marginalization. And let me say what I'm saying. It's about the high pressure gas pipeline. If you look at the Southeast, they account for at least 50 to 60%. I don't want to exaggerate it. At least 60% of the gas reserve in Nigeria, and there's no high pressure gas pipeline coming from the Southeast. You have them in Kaduna, Kanu, and a place called Gwashi or whatever they call it. So that is highly discriminating in my opinion. I don't Southeast so-called or them and all that kind of nonsense. They're not doing nothing. They need to pressurize, talk to Tinubu. I mean, you have a place that accounts for over 50% of the gas reserve in Nigeria, and there's no high pressure gas pipeline. You have all of them in the north. They're supposed to be sending them to Niger or whatever. I don't know if that's going to work because we don't have a good relationship with Niger right now. So it's something to be talked about. We should be talking about whatever is going on in that area. And when it comes to the Southeast, the only people that I can see performing is the Enugu governor. Governor, giving that money, he's doing well. And Abia State governor, but the rest, Ludo and those of them, I mean, they are morons. They are nonsense. I'm going to call them moron on national TV. They are not doing anything. So I fought them. I just come back from that place. Hope Uzodinma is probably the worst performing governor, in my own opinion. Like I said, he's busy making babies. I'm going to call him out the second time again. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man of prestige. Paul, you're next.
Oh, thank you. I know I've said some things about the tax something, but I still want to emphasize more because it breaks my heart. Look at what man of prestige is saying with the Southeast and everything. The Southeast, they have oil there, places like Imo, Abia. You understand? These things are just there. These people collect revenue. Now they add Anambra to the state. You understand? They found all these things. How much investment have we put there? You understand? What is the calculation to say, okay, we'll invest SY amount of money in this place, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the things like that. It breaks my heart. I could remember when 2001, between the 2000 when they started giving these telecommunications license and everything, they even refused states to invest in some of those things. Some of the states had to go through indirectly to get some of this revenue. You understand? You want to sell oil block, you will not even allow states to buy some of those things. You understand? Let it even be state revenue. States have to come with all kind of corners, way and everything. We just get people who are way richer, you understand, than government. And it's not good for any economy. By the day, we are raising all these billionaires in America today. What happened to the economy? We keep having more poor people. You understand? It's not good for the economy. So until federal government will still come back and do their own needful, you understand, invest in anything that you choose to claim to say this belongs to federal government. Put some investment there. You understand, by way of even partner with the state governors and the likes. It's better. I don't understand why we can't even make 1% on gold with all the crisis that is going on in Zamfara. Where are the gold money? Where are all the lithium that they are talking about? Or is it that we are just bragging that we have all those things? We have all those coatings, we have all those things. How much revenue do we make from there? But you know the funny part of it, government to themselves, they don't invest there. That's why the Chinese are just taking all those things. You understand? Indian, they're just taking all those things. They don't invest there. There's no physical investment there. The few physical investment we can see back in the days, today we are still challenging government. Like the Delta Steel Company, the Ajaokuta Steel Company, the Delta Glass. You understand? Physical investment that you see. And ever that thing, when Germany faced the problem with Russia and Ukraine, they go back to coal. Can we go back to coal and say, let us use coal to generate power? You understand? With all the excess that we have in places like Enugu, when Enugu will still call civil servant states. At this age and time, I'm so ashamed of our federal government. You understand? Then the governors, they are just puppets, like the way the governors use the local government chairman. They can't do anything. Everybody go there just to go make money. That's why the system is bastardized, and it will remain like that. If they choose not to change, it won't do anything. Doctor, very many persons don't know that they have a lot of cocoa in places like Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom have a lot of cocoa. As a young boy, we used to lift tons of cocoa in Akwa Ibom. You understand? But if they call cocoa today, people will still have that mindset of, oh, cocoa, Ondo State, and the likes. Where we have these things, we don't even touch all those things. It's laughable, and we can't grow like that. Then, forefather, before I forget, forefather, don't use the US in terms of federal government and Nigeria. It's a different thing. It's a different thing. When you see Festus Kiyamu say, "Oh, I met the people in Miami International Airport. I met these things." My brother, many of all these airports belong to local government, not even state. Local government, not even state. When you hear Atlanta Airport, it's not the state of Atlanta. They invest there because they make more revenue in terms of tax. But this airport belongs to the city. So understand some of those things. So if the city make more money, it's good for federal government to also get more taxes. But in our own case, federal government own the port. Federal government own the airport. Take your hands off those things. You understand? When the city owns some of those things, the state owns some of those things, the federal government will become lion to make sure that they make money from those things. But when federal government own it, they just abandon it. Look at old secretariats. Even when Tinubu was governor, Tinubu fight Obasanjo to buy the old secretariat, federal secretariat Ikoyi. Guess what? Tinubu fight government 2001. It's still there lying fallow. That is the federal government secretariat that IBB left in the 80s. You understand? It's still lying fallow there. That's how federal government works. America government don't own things like that. It belongs to state and federal.
Doesn't define whether you are successful or not. McDonald's franchises that are present all over the world is not owned by the central McDonald's administration, but yet they are still making profit. Even if you own something, if the profit is going to the central government,
that's why McDonald's make profit, because McDonald's do franchise. You understand? So they sell product to you, like as we have Mr. Biggs in Nigeria, owned by UAC. You understand? It's franchise. Like as you have gas station. You understand? Franchise.
You don't
so
own it.
if I sell you a franchise, then I'm making money for you at ease. But in our own case, federal government own the thing. Don't own. Let people run these things and you make your own revenue. Then you open your eyes to take your money. You understand? By way of taxing, you understand? And if this business is going down, you can bail them.
We say we want federal government to earn less from the center. You found out now that the Nigerian government is earning far less from the resources in Nigeria compared to the states. Now we want to shift it, that it's ownership that is the problem. We are going to kill the center in Nigeria before we rest, because we don't really truly study structures of nation when we say these things.
I don't think you are much knowledgeable about these things that you are talking about.
I didn't make it up. It's the data that I'm looking at.
I stand to be corrected. I don't think so, because federal government own these things and they can't even manage what they own. Do you understand? Why do you say you own all these things? The solid mineral, how much revenue did you make from there? Do you know how Buhari fight us over nomadic cattle and whatever? How much revenue do we make from these things? You understand? This is what federal government is supposed to do. Help some of these businesses, then you put your eye on ground to make revenue back from it. You understand? The way they stop reducing weed in my state, they legalize weed. You understand? And they start giving people license. So people get good weed. People get the required weed that they want. I want the one that I want to take so that I can eat. The next man want the ones that they want to take so that they can't eat. The other person wants the one they can use for their pain. And everything now is regulated. People can buy it for the right purpose than the one that is coming that you don't know where it's coming from, that is killing people. You understand? And my state is making $3 billion. And what did they do with the money? They started investing in schools. They build schools, build everything. Also keep some money for mental health. This is what states do. This is what federal government can do. But in our own case, federal government can't own something that they can't manage. They just hold
Federal
all the
government
things.
is giving more money to the states compared to other, like America. Federal
They
government is
don't.
actually giving more money to
Federal
Nigerian
government.
states.
How much federal government is making from Anambra State, the oil in Anambra State? How much are they making from Imo? How much are they making from Mafia? How much are they making from it? They just only discover, they don't invest anything there.
Just to help.
No, don't help them. We are going to continue. you all can join us at the next stream where we'll continue the conversation. We have a lot of topics we didn't get to. Femi Otedola and his first bank, they are fighting Nduka Obaigbena for the $200 million that Nduka borrowed under his company, General Hydrocarbon Limited, and has not paid back. So it's a bad loan, and that issue has led to the disappearance of the former chairman of the First Bank, Otudeko. So that's a topic to discuss. Also, we didn't touch on Seyi Tinubu, who they are clearing the way, according to some analysts, for him to be the next governor of Lagos State. So that's an issue of dynasty and whether it's possible, really, because there are other people who are running to be the next governor of Lagos State. We are saying this because the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly was impeached this week, I think, and that is why that is in the news. Also, there is this Timileyin Ajayi who killed the girlfriend in Abuja, I believe. He was a gospel singer. So maybe KJ and all the church people will explain to us who should we trust now that we can trust a gospel singer.
No. He has resigned from that position.
All right.
He left singing gospel a long time ago. But we'll discuss that, and I'll bring.
We are going to have that conversation. So that's what forefathers will. These are the topics forefathers will deal with when we move over to his stream. Okija, welcome to the show. We see you, but we don't have time for you to speak. We want to thank those that supported us. Alexander Gomez, AB, we want to thank you for your support. Emmanuel Johnson, Nana Bash, thank you so much. Kulata, thank you. For those, we didn't take any break today for straight 3 hours. So that's how intense it was. So hopefully, everybody will switch over to join forefathers as we continue the conversation. Once again, thank you all for joining us. Let me just be nice. Okija, just one word from you. All right. His audio. This guy works in high tech, not even tech. You know, some people work in tech. He works in high tech. But he comes here, he can't even get his audio in order. Okija, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's go up and